Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to the qualifying watch-along. Good start for the Monaco Grand Prix weekend. Hope you're ready for this. The most important qualifying session of the year. And based on practice, it looks like they've turned up. So we might have a chance here at a Ferrari pole position. By the way, the Ferrari merch is out, Max. You're right. I'll do some shout-outs in a second. I bought a size down on the oversized T-shirt, and it's still like a dress. So if you're looking for something to lounge around in the winter, get yourself one of these in a sale. It is so comfortable. It's enormous, and I don't even care. So there we go. Yeah, in before a Q1 exit. Thank you, Fud. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world, to Robin, to Owen, to Craig, to Biker John. Is it to Joachim? Or Joachim, Joachim, I think. Pascal, I said hey to Craig, to Michael, to Annette as well. Hope you're well, Annette. To Pascal said Ewan as well. Jordan, to Fud, to Tim, to Kevin. He's here getting excited about the Constructors' Championship as usual. To Sema as well. Sorry. And thank you all for popping on. And Max, of course, as well. I've already mentioned you, Max, but we'll give you another shout out. Why not? Ready for qualifying. This is the big one. We know that. We've talked about it a lot, haven't we, in recent weeks. Monaco, in fact, we talk about it every year. It's always about qualifying. If you're new to Formula One, don't expect anything overly exciting tomorrow. Sky seem to be in the mood of hyping up this mandatory two-stop, which if you caught the preview, I'm clearly quite sceptical about and not sure will make any difference whatsoever. But each to their own. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but it's all about today. And I think if you're a team, you're coming into this one, your big focus is on getting the lap perfectly right. But what is really great about this weekend so far is the consensus is usually in qualifying that you put on the softest tyre, lowest amount of fuel, and you floor it, and you get the best lap in you can. But there are question marks about whether or not the medium tyre might be the way to go again today. So I saw a debate on Twitter when it was working. It's gone down. What a shame that is. So sad Twitter's down. Rest in peace and all that. It'd be terrible if that just deleted itself, wouldn't it? But I saw a little debate on there earlier, and it was a couple of people talking about the idea of Pirelli maybe bringing a C6 to every weekend, so you could have like the C3, the C4, the C6, or the C2, the C3, the C6, and that way you sort of get a tyre that we know is going to fall apart, but it offers strategy up in qualifying and something in the races for people to try. But not sure that would work somewhere like Barcelona, where you take the C1, 2, and 6, because that might be extreme. But, skipping a compound for the sake of bringing C6 could be a laugh, so we might get some good stuff today. Someone who's going to need some good stuff today, by the way, is Mr. Oliver Bearman. If you didn't catch the news, he will drop 10 grid positions for the Monaco Grand Prix tomorrow, wherever he qualifies. So even pole position, let's be real here, but even pole position is P11 for him tomorrow. So his weekend, unless we get absolute chaos tomorrow, pretty much over before it started, unfortunately. That was because he overtook Carlos Sainz under a red flag. We'll have a quick read of the decision here. Well prior to the overtaking, the session was red flagged. The team informed the driver rather late, just before the overtake happened. However, it is clear from the video footage that there was a light panel directly in front of the driver which showed the red flag. Dashboard also indicated the red flag well before the overtake. Ollie Bearman argued that he felt that if he braked abruptly, it would have been more dangerous, and so that's why he sort of lifted off slowly, overtook the car, and then slowed down and came into the pits. The steward said, no, we're not having that. And then said the whole purpose of requiring drivers to slow down immediately is for safety. They will not know what is in front of them or the reason for the red flag being shown. So even bigger risk at Monaco. So it's a slam dunk, I'm afraid, for Ollie Bearman. Lance Stroll has also got a penalty, slightly less severe, understatement of the year, a one-place grid drop for a collision with Charles Leclerc in practice one. If you didn't see that, right at the start of practice one, actually, Carlos Sainz, Lance Stroll going down to the hairpin, told to get out of the way of the cars behind, pulled over for one car, didn't realise, even though his engineer had said, he said he didn't hear his engineer, came across back onto the racing line, Leclerc hit into the back of him. That was Lance's fault. Stewards decided wholly to blame. One place grid drop for that one, which actually some might say isn't very harsh, but actually we don't tend to see a lot of sporty penalties given in practice, do we? So that is quite a hefty penalty for a practice session when you think about it. Other investigations that were happening: Carlos Sainz for overtaking car 43 under red flag. Who is car 43? Colapinto. No further action. Same the other way around. Colapinto on Lance Stroll. No further action. So those are all the stewards' decisions that are done and dusted. But yeah, bad news for Ollie Bearman. 10 place grid drop, that's going to be painful. That's painful. Like I say, even pole position, that's 11th place, and without chaos tomorrow, you're probably not getting much out of that. I have just realised again, for about the 53rd stream in a row, I don't know if I've done 53 facecam streams, I forgot the lights. Did you have some lights on? I don't know what difference it makes for you guys, whether you prefer them on or off. I don't actually. Do you know what? That's a good question. Not much in it, actually, is there, weirdly. But anyway, they're on now. There we go. All sorted. What are you guys saying in chat? Get your questions in. Lots to talk about. 20 minutes to go to start the session. And then we'll get some stuff. I'm going to try tomorrow as well, by the way. Try and get set up with team radio. So where you see the Ferrari at the moment in that picture, top left or opposite me, I might put some driver radio there. We'll see how we go tomorrow. Patrick says hi from Thailand. Hi Patrick, hope you're well, mate. I always buy the polos because I'm a civilized man. None of this lounge around t-shirt nonsense. Screw you, Max. T-shirts all day long, mate. T-shirt supremacy. I'm having it, all right. I don't care. Now, I used to love polo shirts in my, no offense, Max, but slightly more let's say chavvy days, but I did just call Max a chav. That's a great start to the stream, is it? Sorry, Max. But yeah, no, I much prefer t-shirts nowadays. But yeah, I did used to like a polo one. Annette likes the lights. There we go. See, it's because you can see my face. Then you see it is. Yeah, the face cam quality is slightly better with the lights on as well. But I keep forgetting because they get a bit hot, so I don't turn them on till the last minute. But then I forget. So yeah, Craig says X Twitter. Question mark. It's always Twitter to me. It will always be Twitter. It's not a political statement. It's just what I'll always call it. I like Twitter. Kevin's got a t-shirt that says the only thing that matters is the Constructors' Championship. Annette loves Monaco quali. I don't think, actually, Annette, there's many people who don't love Monaco quali. I think the debate around Monaco is always around the Grand Prix, isn't it? I think everybody, as far as I know, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think everybody prefers Monaco quali to most quali. It's the best format we've got with the 3 knockout sessions, Q1, Q2, Q3, but you've also got the added jeopardy of the walls, as well as if you put a toe wrong, if you're not in the wall, you've screwed your lap up, and instead of starting second, you're starting 8th, and that's your entire weekend ruined, really, because you're not going to overtake tomorrow, and I'm not buying this mandatory 2-stop, but I'll give it a chance, as I always do with these things, but I'm not buying it. So tomorrow, I might need your questions during the stream to get us through. I may be a cynic, says Red Raven. Considering it's Stroll we're talking about, he'll qualify poorly and won't be running for points anyway, so the penalty is not only not harsh, but even irrelevant. With a cheeky emoji. Yeah, it's... I think Red Raven will know the line that's coming. If Stroll sorted his qualifying out, I don't think he'd be half as bad to people as people say he is. I mean, he still makes his mistakes. He's still not the best on the grid by a long way. Of course he isn't. But if he had better Saturdays, he'd obviously start higher up. He'd have better shot of points. People might look at him a bit more differently, but he's just never been a good qualifier, has he? At all. Also, by the way, watch out for Franco Colapinto today. A couple of times in practice, he's been a bit spicy with his defending of his position on track, so it could be even more today. But the big thing today, the reason I'm talking about Colapinto, is traffic is going to be absolutely huge today, and that just reminded me of obviously some of the shenanigans going on in practice between drivers, not just Colapinto. So yeah, traffic is going to be huge today. But as I said in commentary, actually in practice, we say this every year, and then somehow in qualifying and managed to sort it all out. So maybe because penalties come after that, they're a bit more careful. So I don't know why Monaco race is sort of a tradition. Snacks, blankie, a pillow and a snooze. It's just what I do, says Annette. Fair enough. I don't blame you, really. I can't do that tomorrow. I mean, some people say these streams are terrible anyway, but if it's just me sleeping for 2 hours, then it might be better, actually. It might be an improvement. Good point. I'm not talking, am I? So, yeah. I am snoring, though. When is Stroll's dad going to give up on him, says Craig. I don't think he will, Craig. Well, I mean, I said it in a video a few weeks ago. There's going to come a point in the near future where if Aston want to, genuinely want to win a world championship, they're going to have to make some decisions on their drivers, because Fernando Alonso isn't going to be around forever. You might think he is, and it feels like he is, but he's not. And Lance Stroll isn't the answer to lead that team. And if they need a second driver up there fighting with whoever replaces Alonso in the future, you might need someone better than Stroll. So, as we've seen at Red Bull, Max Verstappen without a teammate is often exposed up there, isn't he? So, that's a little bit disappointing. I've just noticed something, sorry, on the multi-viewer. I think they've updated the colours of the drivers, and there's not really any difference. There is. It's a little bit more. Yeah, the black background makes it work. Sorry, between the Racing Bulls, the Williams, and the Red Bulls, at a glance, they all look like they're driving the same bloody car. But anyway, I think the thing with Monaco as well, I said it in a short the other day, and I said it on stream last week. You've got to remember, it's more than just... there is, for all the jokes about it, there is a Constructors' Championship to fight for, and this is a weekend maybe where the driver can make the difference on track, but the team have got to be on their A game as well with strategy and feeding people back into traffic or outside of traffic in clean air, and this is where they earn their money. So, and I agree with Crofty. Oh, no, that didn't feel good. I'm okay. 1 second. Yeah. I agree with Crofty. It's a world championship, and we want a good mix of tracks, and Monaco offers a different challenge for the drivers, and it offers a different challenge for strategists, and I think that's a good thing. But I will maintain as well, whilst we didn't always get great Monaco Grand Prix when the cars were smaller, it's not just Monaco that's the problem here. These cars are way too big. There were some comparisons on Twitter, as there are every year, yesterday, about the cars now versus, back in the early 90s, and they are enormous. They're just too big for the track. So we certainly used to get better races around Monaco than we get now, but they were never epic, let's be honest. Some have been. We've had some chaos with rain and such, but I don't know. There's still something about it that makes it special. And I don't buy this, it's only special if you're there narrative that comes out every year in Monaco. That helps, of course it does, but it's still special to watch these cars, particularly on a Saturday, flat out around Monaco, between the barriers. You know, one toe out of line, you're in the wall. That's special to me, and it could be different. Not if it has to be the same. If we're not careful, we'll end up with a 24 race calendar all in these, you know, Middle Eastern tracks like Bahrain, where they're super wide and they all look very, you know, I know they're different layouts, but Bahrain and Qatar from a distance as tracks, I mean, really? I don't know. I don't want to lose all these historic tracks. If we keep in Monaco means that once a year we get a bit of a snoozer. Don't forget as well, you've got the Indy 500 tomorrow afternoon as well. So if the race does end up being terrible, just switch straight over to the Indy and you'll have a good race. But yeah, let's also not forget that other series have dual races too. You know, I'm not going to name any because it's just not worth the argument. But yeah. Do you have a window in that room? I do have a window, but I've got the main road the other side of that window. If you live in Lincoln, it's Tritton Road. It's the main road through, so it's it's quite loud. So I have to have noise cancelling. They don't cancel the noise. Noise reduction curtains and all that. So it's very dark in here pretty much all the time. I open them when I'm not streaming, obviously, or recording. But yeah, I am like a little hermit. Yeah. Monaco is a special place regardless of the race. As Craig, yeah. I'd love to go to Monaco, experience a weekend, or in general, actually, not even for F1. Maybe it'd be somewhat cheaper, a little bit cheaper, possibly, to go and visit Monaco outside of F1. F1 weekend, it'd be crazy, but yeah, no. Without Monaco, investors might not invest as much, says David. Paula says it will always be a special thing indeed. Monaco 1984 was the first F1 race I ever saw. Besides, it gives us something to whinge about, says Annette. That's true, yeah. We like to moan, don't we, as F1 fans? The race was always impossible, even back in the 80s when the cars were 4 foot shorter and manual transmissions. You would have to catch a guy missing a shift. Yeah, I mean, you have the Senna. Yeah, but the Senna Prost battle back in 91, 92, somewhere around there, that was epic, wasn't it? And we still talk about that today. So it can still be exciting even without the overtaking. But back then, there was a better chance you could pass. So there was always a threat there was an overtake on, whereas now, you're not going to get one. Even the F2 cars we saw before this, spoiler alert, you know, they were trying to make overtakes but still slamming into each other. I think, is it Ollie Goethe got a penalty for a Jules Bianchi style move up the inside of La Rascasse and effectively stuffing the other guy in a barrier. If they're struggling, F1 have got no chance. So what track modifications have Monaco made over the years compared to all of the tracks, says Tim? Most of the Monaco changes, because they're kind of restricted in what they can do, obviously, because of all the massive buildings that have kind of built up around the track over the years. But most of it has been about moving barriers back. So the swimming pool, the swimming pool and Rascasse used to be slightly differently profiled, didn't they, because of the barriers. So that's all they can really do. They've moved the barrier around at the Nouvelle Chicane 10 and 11. Otherwise, it's really, even, you know, down at San Devoto into turn 1, it's that used to have the barrier much closer on the inside to the track. Now we've got all that run off there because the pit exit goes around there. So they have tried to do what they can do, but it's every sport has a boring event. Football has boring 0-0 draws. Every sport has a boring event. Maybe Monaco is just F1's 0-0. But let's not talk about the race today, because this is where it matters. Qualifying. We are 10 minutes away. It's going to be cracking. It's going to be fantastic, and I can't wait for it. It could be a long one. Again, if you're new, if you watch F1 a lot, you probably know this already, but cars in walls, red flags. But one thing you will know as well is that usually the marshals around Monaco are, I think, some of the best in the world, if not the best in the world. They can clear cars so quickly. Cranes all over the place. Flying cars. It's great stuff. We love it. So, my 2 cents to the Monaco Grand Prix. Kick it out of F1. Keep F2, 3. They're kind of like Macau. Plus Formula E. We have enough other iconic tracks. Yeah, but we're losing them all, Red Raven, aren't we, at this rate? We've got Spa's already going on to rotation. It won't be long before Silverstone's up for renewal, so that'll have a question mark over it again. And we're going to all these. I like the new build racetracks. No, Sepang. Let's talk about Sepang again. Why not? Great track as one of the new builds. And, you know, the wider tracks are great for F1, but I don't want everything to be clinical Bahrain or clinical Abu Dhabi. I want to see, you know, the Red Bull Ring, for example, you know, all those different changes in height is the word I'm going to go for. I can't think of the other word. Undulations. That's a great word. I want to see the tighter tracks. I want to see challenge. If we just keep going to the wide tracks like the Bahrains, which are great for racing, of course they are, then it's just going to be the same every week. At least tracks like Monaco and Spa and Silverstone, Austria, they offer something different. But I just feel like we're moving away from that, and we're going to end up in the future with 24 races in the Middle East because that's where the money is. But I don't want to make an overcommitment on the stream, but I think if we got to that point, I think it would probably be pretty much game over for me, to be honest. I don't want to just watch the same race over and over again. We lost Imola. It's unfortunately can't afford to. The money it brings in isn't enough for F1 because they can get even more from somewhere else. So, it's like this. And it's not an anti-Middle East thing, by the way. It's just the tracks themselves. So we talk about this new one they're building in Saudi, which if they pull it off, looks unbelievable, doesn't it? I mean, some of the stuff there is crazy. But let's talk about that replacing Jeddah. I'll say today, and I've said this before, I can almost guarantee you it will not replace Jeddah. We will have both. We will have a Jeddah Grand Prix and a Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Which reminds me, that's a good. I was going to say for next week. Do you want something? I was digging around earlier. I'm on my phone. There's a reason. Don't worry. We're not sure what's happening with. A lot of people are not sure what's happening with Barcelona for next year because obviously that's been replaced by Madrid, another part street, part road course track. And that's going to take on the Spanish Grand Prix name. So a lot of people are assuming that Barcelona won't be on the calendar. However, it has got a contract for next year. And I went onto the F1 Experiences website just out of intrigue, and I found a TBD 2026 Formula One Barcelona Grand Prix for next year, and you can lock in your spot for tickets now. So I suspect we are going to have a Spanish Grand Prix next year and a Barcelona Grand Prix. I wondered if they might call it a European Grand Prix, but it looks like it might be a Barcelona one. Obviously nothing official. I don't think we're too far away from the provisional calendar being revealed for next year. It's usually in the next sort of month or so, isn't it? So expecting something soon on that, I'd imagine. But I think we're going to get a Barcelona Grand Prix next year. I did wonder about European. There was probably another way they could have gone, which might have been, I'm not great on the politics of the area, but might have been a bit more controversial, but they might go Barcelona, and then we'll see if they renew after that. But yeah, Nick says, love Monaco, flip overtaking, beautiful track, Monaco forever. Yeah, street circuits is the new thing in F1. They've obviously looked at the huge success Formula E has and decided to go with that. But I think the selling point wasn't the selling point for Madrid something like 90-something% of fans can access it via public transport, which is, I kind of get that. As all the drivers and teams flying on their private jets. But yeah, that was a big selling point for Madrid. But I hope we don't get too many street tracks. We still need the classics. There's place for the new ones. There's place for tracks like the new Saudi track. I would try and pronounce it. I can never pronounce it correctly. I offended someone last time I tried, so I won't. I'll just say the new Saudi track. There's space for newer versions of something like Sepang. God, I love that track. But there's also space for your Monacos and your Silverstones and your Spas and your other street tracks and newer ones. Some work. Baku's pretty cool. But yeah, Barcelona staying, Nick. I think it's got one more year left on its deal. Whether or not they renew beyond the next season is another question. I suspect that could end up being a testing venue. Some sort of deal there with them and Bahrain where they share. I did just let me check something first before I say so. I think this is already common knowledge and out there now. But there was a story next year. I don't want to say anything in case it's still under some sort of embargo. Two secs. Sorry, I don't want to get myself into trouble again. I'm pretty sure this has been already. So Concord agreement is confirmed. That's not what I wanted at all. No, I won't say it then. I can't find it anywhere. Yeah. I can word this. I feel bad now because I've got to height that. I'll word it in a way that if I can't find what it is, I'm pretty sure it's gone out. If I can't find what it is, just I'll word this in a different way. How about the start to next season won't be all that dissimilar to the start to this season? There you go. Right then, the music has kicked in. We are ready for the Monaco Grand Prix qualifying session. Let's get all the timing set up then. So, I don't know what that was. Little dance for you. As always, thank you so much to the folks over at Multiviewer for F1 for providing the live timing for qualifying. Really appreciate them allowing us to use this. Obviously, no sponsorship here. It's just they let us use the timing, so it's only fair that I give them a bit of a shout out. So thank you to those guys. Link in the description if you'd like to go and sign up to Multiview for F1. You will need some sort of F1 TV subscription, but it can just be F1 TV access. So you can access all this data and you can customize your stream to have as much or as little data add as you'd like. Thank you so much again to those guys for allowing us to use it in the stream. And I have already, look at that, already best lap. I'm so on it, so out on it. So no, I don't want to call somebody a twat, RC. Don't worry, mate. If I was going to, I was going to. It's very rare I'll call somebody that. Although I did call Max a chav earlier, if you missed that. So there you go. I've already offended somebody today, and that's all I can do. That's my lifetime goal. If I can offend somebody a day, I'm doing something right. I'm joking. Risk of rain for qualifying 20%. So should be. Again, 80% chance it'll stay dry. Let's not get too excited by 20%. But yeah, looks like a lovely day to take the yacht out, says the Haprust. Yes, I need to have a word with Lawrence Stroll, make sure he sent my money so I can so I can get out of my yacht. You know, I will never get over that. It's one of my favourite things in the world. Being accused, if you knew, being accused of being on the Lawrence Stroll payroll a few years ago, and it's kind of stuck with us since, and I've kind of enjoyed that. So, yeah. I want F1 in Sydney. It insults me that Melbourne has it, says Annette. Sydney tried, didn't they? Was that a street track as well, Annette? I think they tried a couple of years ago, didn't they, to get it from Melbourne. And Rio, was it Rio tried to get it from Interlagos, Brazil? Obviously not Australia. That'd be ridiculous. An Australian Grand Prix in Rio would not make any sense at all, but you know what I mean. Cars are on their way to the end of the pit lane already, so they are really ready for this one. 18 minutes for Q1, 15 for Q2, and 12 for Q3. I forget every single week. Bathurst is too dangerous a net for F1. Eastern Creek is a rubbish track, says Craig. Old Adelaide was all right, Paula. Yeah, it gave us some great. I agree on Portimao as well. Actually, I enjoyed that as a track when we went there. In was it just 2020 or did we do 2021 in Portugal as well? Definitely did 2020, didn't we? The year that everyone has tried to forget in life. Ferrari looking good then. So let's get your predictions in. Who's getting pole? I did do a poll at the start of the stream. I said, which team will take pole position in Monaco? Ferrari, Red Bull, McLaren, or will get a shock? 52% of you saying Ferrari. Red Bull 20%, McLaren 16%, and 12% think we'll get a shock. We are go for Q1. So, yeah, get your predictions in. I'll try and read some as we go, but we're underway now. So, you've got a good minute or two but while they go round and get ready for their first flying lap. So, we'll see how we go. But, yeah. Owen says Lewis Hamilton for pole. Had a crash, didn't he, in FP3? Forgot about that one. Lost it at the top of the hill. And Sky were at great pains to explain why it wasn't his fault. I'm not saying it was, but nobody hit him. So I think he took responsibility though, didn't he, Lewis? And then into the wall and damaged his car, but they are ready to go with him. So all good there for Ferrari. A couple of people already, Colapinto and Gasly going for the medium tyre in this session. So that's an interesting one to keep an eye on. Christian Horner said yesterday, by the way, that the hard and the medium should be able to go a long distance into the race, which I'm assuming would mean to the end. And the soft is probably going to go further than I think people are expecting tomorrow if it's used. But I fully expect a medium to hard to medium or I don't expect to see any softs tomorrow unless we get a very late safety car. But even if you get a late safety car, is there any point? You're going to be quick, but you don't want to pass anybody, are you? So I fear Franco will not make Q2, says Nick. If it's a shock, I want it to be Williams to fill in the blanks. Could you imagine? They've looked quick again this weekend, actually, to be fair. I don't know if you knew, but there's 2 mandatory pit stops will be introduced to Monaco for this weekend. I know, shocking. Bearman has a 10-place penalty. Yep, absolutely. That's for the overtaking under red flags in practice, wasn't it? So covered that at the start of the stream if you weren't here, just to let you know. Problem with Adelaide, says Mark, and I'm going to read this, and I'm sorry if I offended anyone from Adelaide. I don't know Australia very well, and that keeps me informed on Australia. But Mark says the problem with Adelaide is that it's in Adelaide. Lol. There we go. So they didn't give doing enough for chances. Kevin, and I want the job of the guy that has to line up the yachts in the marina so they look pretty on TV, says a hat Prust. Yeah. I'd like to be the guy who has that job, but voluntarily, because one of the yachts is mine, and I'm just being a proper, proper job's worth about it. Like, get away from my yachts, because I'm from the north, apparently. Yeah. So here we go. We're going to get some laps on the board now. So they're all starting their laps now. Hadjar's just going around to begin his first flying lap. We're riding on board with Nico Hulkenberg, who is the first to do a lap, which is why he's purple in the first sector. So that's not too excited about that one. Again, if you're new to the stream in F1, welcome. Thank you for popping along. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there. But purple is absolute fastest. Green is a personal best. And yellow is not improving. It's Albon, actually, the first to do a lap, followed by Sainz, followed by Ocon. So it wasn't Hulkenberg at all. He is just quick in the first sector. I'll shut my damn mouth as Bearman does 1:14.5 and goes 7/10 quicker than Esteban Ocon. Sainz and Albon looking like they're going for a couple of warm-up laps here. They are 6 and 7 seconds off the pace, respectively there. So, or 7.5 seconds off the pace. So looks like we're going to get a couple of warm-up laps. It tends to be the case in Monaco, doesn't it, that people put a bit of fuel in and just do a few laps rather than just one hot lap. So you've got to worry about traffic and things like that. Colapinto just ahead of Gasly, by the way, both on the mediums. Everybody else so far on the softs, as Norris leaves the pits on the softs. Piastri heads out also on the softs, I'm assuming. And then Verstappen will be the last one out on track in... Is he out there? Verstappen's not out there, and his dot's not in the pit lane either, from what I can see. So we'll see what happens. There might be a transponder issue like we had the other week with George Russell. Hulkenberg and Bortoleto, by the way, the fastest two out there at the moment, 13.3 and 13.4. Hulkenberg ahead of Bortoleto there by a tenth. So pushing hard. Albon now goes fastest on 13.1. So yeah, traffic is the issue here. So a bit of fuel in, keep going around, see what happens. Who do you think is the most likely to cause a red flag, says Mark A. I'm sure chat are going to say Stroll, so I'll say let's say Tsunoda. I don't know. I'm just picking the name at random because it was near Stroll there for somebody different. I don't think he will, but yeah. Leclerc goes fastest, 13.0. He's been quick all weekend, has Charles Leclerc, which is quite funny because they came into this one and did Ferrari saying they thought they were going to struggle. So maybe playing it all down. Maybe. Blue flags there for the Sauber, but the McLaren isn't on a flying lap, so it doesn't need to get out of the way. And Norris lets through Antonelli. Here comes the... as Lawson goes, he's been quick as well, actually. One to watch today is Liam Lawson. Max Verstappen still in the pits, yes. Waiting to go out until last minute here. What tyres are he going to put on? Will it be the softs? Gasly's had a lap time deleted for track limits. Antonelli goes into second place. It's a fresh set of the softs. The C6 for Max Verstappen's second weekend in a row that we've seen them. And it's great to see the drones around as well, by the way. The shots we've had this weekend have been fantastic. So very excited to see some more of those in the race. They're great for analysis as well, aren't they? Who's taking what line, etc. So, yeah. McLaren there in their new livery. There's the drone shot. Mirabeau and the hairpin. That's a great little sequence of corners, that as well. What a great place to put that drone. Looks like a computer game. It really, really does. It looks like the old top-down, obviously graphically better, top-down management games like Grand Prix Manager 2. For example. So timing tower isn't working on TV, by the way. It's just come back, so there we go. I was going to say, so if we get any problems with the timing we've got, that'll be because it's linked to that. So it's all coming from the same areas, I think. So Stroll 1:12.8 goes fastest, just ahead of Ollie Bearman by 1,000th of a second. This could be quite close, by the way. Gasly goes third as Sainz gets a couple of lap times deleted actually there, according to the... It might be the same one if that was 3, but yeah, it might be the same one just repeated. Here comes Norris. opens the DRS, twitching through the final corner there. Over the line he goes to do a 1:12.860. He goes fastest. So Leclerc already considerably quicker in the first sector, but not as quick as Lewis Hamilton, who's gone purple. So this is only about getting through Q1, of course. So doesn't matter where you finish in the top 15, so long as you finish somewhere in there. At the moment, Bortoleto, Sainz, Hamilton, Russell and Verstappen in the bottom 5, but they're yet to set any time. So see what happens there. Here comes Albon now. As I'm holding the mouse, I'm just clicking on everything as I keep... Yeah, leave things alone. Second for Albon, 3/10 off Pierre. That's not bad at all, 3.5 tenths, is it really? Leclerc, by the way, absolutely flying. Hamilton, by the way, absolutely flying. Ferrari looking good here, on board with Charles Leclerc through Rascasse and into the final corner. Opens DRS down the start-finish banana, and it is a 1:12 flat. 4/10 best part of quicker than Piastri, and then 2.5 tenths quicker than his teammate Hamilton, who goes into second place. Don't let me dream, please. Don't let me dream. I'm just getting disappointed, aren't I? It always happens. Here goes Verstappen. Obviously, personal best because he's not set a time yet through to back into the swimming pool. I mean, not literally into the swimming pool, but the swimming pool corners. That's a mouthful. Here we go. Then purple in the middle sector, though, even though he's not maybe giving it everything just yet. Probably getting it up to speed. Through the final corner. Max Verstappen over the line. Does go fastest on a 1:11.9. Is this Verstappen versus Ferrari? That'd be a turn up for the books as we look at Patrick Dempsey for reasons. Any surprises in there? As Alonso, well, there you go. Alonso goes third. There's your surprise. A bit early for surprises yet in Monaco, I think. This track is going to keep getting better as the more laps they do, of course. Quite unique, Monaco, in so many ways, but also the track gets opened up as public roads again after the sessions. So grip does tend to drop off a bit between sessions. Or parts of it. Don't know if all of it does. Someone can let me know, but I think some of it does. Certainly they make jokes every year about Rascasse being covered in beer and wine and champagne. So here comes Norris through the swimming pool corners. Such a great couple of corners that to watch F1 cars through, even on TV. Imagine that in person, though, how good that would be. He's going to get traffic in Rascasse, so hope... And, oh, no, he's all right. He's got through it. No worries there. Norris purple in Sector 2 as well. Lots of lap times being deleted, including Carlos Sainz the same lap time constantly for some reason. Norris goes fastest. Piastri is improving as well. There's a Red Bull getting just out of the way there nicely at the swimming pool. Piastri, Antonelli quick as well, actually. Personal best in the middle sector. So times are ramping up a bit. But again, Ferrari coming back at McLaren. 1:18.6 for Leclerc in the first sector. 2/10 quicker than Norris as Piastri goes second. This is the other thing about Monaco qualifying. It's just relentless, isn't it? They'll all be in a minute to change tyres. But yeah, Stroll and Gasly noted for impeding. We'll keep an eye on that, see if we get a replay. Albon up to 5th place. I'll come to you in chat. I'm not ignoring your promise, chat. It's just a lot going on. I know I'm not a commentator, but I do get rather excited by any qualifying session, but certainly here. So Sainz goes 6th. Does Carlos Sainz? Oh, Williams are having such a good season. They really are. Here comes Charles. Over the line, he does go. Only second, a 10.5 off Norris. So, where did he lose the time? Middle sector to Norris in the end, 2/10 there. So, yeah. Awesome. Verstappen's flying, by the way. Absolutely flying. 3/10 quicker, nearly. Well, 2 and a bit. Nearly 2.5. I'm exaggerating. In the first sector over Norris alone. What's he going to do in the middle sector? Norris is good through here, 34.0. So, yeah, so Norris is good in the middle sector by a good couple of tenths of a second there. So, that's where you need to keep an eye on it later on in the session in Q3. Assuming they all get through to Q3, which you think they would do. Verstappen doesn't improve, stays 4th, actually. We need a Pastor Maldonado performance from Williams this year, says CPB. Absolutely. A shock win. A shock win somewhere would be great, wouldn't it? Franz Herman says Paula. Yes, Franz Herman. There's some merchandise on the Verstappen.com website now that's all Franz Herman if you're interested. which is just, yeah, total cash grab, but who cares? It's all good fun, isn't it? So, Stroll, if that's, yeah, that's impeding. Stroll will get a penalty there. That has to be a penalty for Stroll. If you're watching the replay on the TV now, let me know what you think. But Gasly's come to the corner, the Nouvelle chicane. So he said he couldn't see the difference in the sun. He thought it was Leclerc behind him and not Gasly. But I think that's a penalty for Stroll there. He's just gone in there. Gasly's on a fast lap. Stroll's slow. Came to the Nouvelle chicane. Didn't really get out of the way. Then tried to cut the chicane, and that had already screwed Gasly over. So I think that's a penalty all day long. George Russell pops himself randomly into third place there on a 111.758. Not seen a great deal from Mercedes. They've not been horrifically bad, just not as quick as we have seen them at times this season. So that might come up in qualify for them. Piastri purple in the middle sector. So McLaren see good in the middle sector. There we go. Piastri fastest on a 111.385. So this track is just continually ramping up. Hulkenberg needing a lap to get out of Q1 here, and he's actually up on Stroll's time, so looking good. Lala B says, I like the little close to the wall view. Leclerc has been noted for impeding. He has indeed at turn 6 on Lance Stroll. We'll wait for a replay on that one. They're all cutting the chicane to get out of the way of cars coming through. It's so messy, isn't it? It's Monaco, but most of them seem to be doing okay. So Stroll and Gasly will be investigated after the session. I think that's a penalty for Stroll. Usually 3 places, isn't it, for an impeding in qualifying? I don't know if that's a higher penalty in Monaco, but it is usually 3 places on the grid. So expect that. That will give 4 for Stroll. He's just going to keep adding them up through the weekend as Hulkenberg goes 6th, by the way, on a 111.893. Cracking lap. Nearly 7/10 quicker than Lance Stroll on that lap. Isaac Hadjar's flying as well. Bortoleto goes 10th. There is some pace at Sauber at this stage of the session. Needs to see a replay of Leclerc, really, who is purple in the first sector and his potential impeding on Stroll, unless it's the other way. No, it's not, is it? The Stroll Gasly one is listed as Stroll, then Gasly, and then the other one's Leclerc and Stroll, so it'll be Leclerc on Stroll. So, yes, might be trouble for Leclerc. We'll see what they decide. Still noted, though, no investigation as of yet. Here's our comp. Leclerc is 2/10 up on Piastri in the middle sector this time around as Ocon goes up into 6th. From 16th, I think, actually. So a good 10 places gain there for Ocon. Colapinto's improving. Gasly's improving as well. Gasly, of course, compromised on his flying lap by Stroll. It looks like most of them are just... I think nobody's pitted, have they? So drivers are just staying out there on the same set of tyres and just continually going round. So that's quite impressive. 21.3 degrees, sorry, for track temperature. 21.4 air. Colapinto over the line and stays 20th at 112.3. So good news. Thank God. Leclerc and Stroll reviewed. No further investigation, so no penalty there for Charles Leclerc. 112.1 is the projected knockout time. Wow. That's all the way up at Hamilton, that is. He's on a 112 flat, so and everyone's improving. Tsunoda goes 9th, 11.9. This is really close for the knockout here. Alpine are screwed. He's on the mediums, says RC. Who's on the mediums? Who have I missed? I've got everyone listed as the softs on my timing thing. I'll wait and see if a spot collar pins. I might be wrong. But I've got softs for everyone in front of me here, so whether that's wrong or not. Albon 4th, 111.6. Disney Princess says, where's the race? Race is tomorrow. It's qualifying today. The best and most important one of the season. Sainz goes 5th So we've got Ferrari, McLaren, Williams. That'll do. Leave it there. Leave it there. I'm sure that's a soft tyre on Franco Colapinto, but I might rewind if I need to and have a double check. So, incident involving cars 44, that's Lewis Hamilton, and car 1, Max Verstappen, noted impeding. Here we go. I know what the question is. I'm not going to answer it, though. It is definitely qualifying. Google copyright. But, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's happened on track between Hamilton. I was just listening to commentary that they were talking about there, but I don't know whether that's Hamilton on Verstappen. Is it his name first? We'll see what happens. Nothing happens to the Leclerc Stroll one, so yeah, we'll see how we go. Top 10 looks great. It does, Lala B. I'd take that top 10 tomorrow quite happily. Nothing to do with Leclerc being on pole, of course. Russell lap time deleted at the moment, though. Hamilton needs this lap, by the way. The clock's going to tick down. He's not going to get round again. He's 14th. He's gone purple in the middle sector. So he is sort of getting it together here, but it's not. It is so close. So close between each position that just a tenth can make all the difference. There's the checkered flag. Here comes Hamilton. He goes 4th, so he's okay. He's through. Verstappen, we'll see if he gets a penalty for anything. I haven't seen a replay as of yet. So at the moment, Lawson, Bortoleto, Alonso, Stroll and Colapinto will be out. Lawson will be a surprise. He goes through, though, into 9th place. Bearman may as well just keep dropping, to be honest, poor lad. 7th for Alonso. He gets through. Norris goes 2nd right at the death there in this session. And we've got Tsunoda up to 10th place, so he should be through. Bortoleto goes 15th. They've got double yellow flags out there. I don't know what's happened, but 15th place here for Bortoleto. It's Antonelli who is off at the Nouvelle chicane. I think he may have hit the wall on the exit. We haven't seen a replay yet, so lots of laps now being compromised by that. That should be it. Bortoleto just pipped by Antonelli, which is going to annoy everyone. If Antonelli's out, he is in the wall at the exit as the Nouvelle chicane. It looks like quite a hefty whack on that left front. Entire left corner's off. Red flag as well for good measure. The checker flag was already out, so we knew that anyway. But yes, that is Antonelli in the wall. I'm going to hazard a guess. He's hit the curb on the inside too hard. Hit that little sausage there and straight in the wall is my prediction. Antonelli sneaks through by 22 thousandths of a second, 200ths if you prefer. Antonelli, the one getting through from Bortoleto. Poor Bortoleto there. But we have lost Oliver Bearman, Pierre Gasly, Lance Stroll, and Franco Colapinto. So yeah, that would have compromised. Who was behind him on track? That would have compromised quite a few laps, wouldn't it, in the end? So yeah, that'll be a delay to the start of Q2, unfortunately. Oh, he's hit on the inside, I think. And then, yeah, looks like he hit the wall on the inside, which we've seen quite a lot, actually, over the years. Does he clout it with the... He does, yeah. And then it's over the curb as well for good measure. Not as hard as I thought. And then whack straight into the damage already done. Yeah, his left front was broken on the entry, so it wasn't actually the curb. Yeah. Oh, dear. Game over for Antonelli today, then. Just a reminder, by the way, because I didn't say it at the start, to be fair. So just a reminder, those who are regulars know this, so apologies for repeating it again. But no on-track footage for what should be in 2025. Patently obvious copyright reasons. You can't just steal other people's footage and broadcast it yourself. The clue is in the title, Watch Along. It is me watching, you watching. We are watching along together like mates in a pub. I wish I was in the pub with you all. That'd be incredible. It'd be quite expensive to book it out, but we could do. Yeah, it's a watch along, not a broadcast, as is I think patently obvious by everything in the description and the title. But just to let you know on that one as well, it's live timing from Multiviewer for F1, as I said earlier. So there we go. I should have said that at the start of qualifying, but I sort of get to the point where I don't really see the point in saying that anymore in this day and age. It should be obvious, but obviously not. Leclerc, fastest then in the first session from Norris, Piastri, Verstappen and Russell. Nearly 3/10 separated in the top 5. Hamilton 6th and Albon in 7th. Alonso up in 8th place. Sainz in 9th. Tsunoda 10th. 11th for Hadjar. 12th for Lawson. 13th for Ocon. 14th for Hulkenberg. 15th for Antonelli, who's brought out the red flag, but it was after the checkered flag. So although he compromised people's laps, it'll just be delaying the start of Q2, not taking time away from Q1. Bortoleto 16th, 17th for Bearman, 18th Gasly, 19th Stroll, 20th Colapinto, and of course, because Antonelli crashed, he won't be able to take part in the rest of the session. He wouldn't do anyway. You're not going to get that fixed in a couple of minutes, are you? But just to be clear on that one. So Bortoleto, Bearman, Gasly, Stroll, and Colapinto out. Any surprises in that one? Maybe Gasly. I mean, Alonso up in 8th. You could say Stroll, but Stroll's not a guy for Saturdays, generally speaking, is he? He's had a couple of brilliant moments. Turkey a few years ago was one of them, of course, for that pole position, but generally speaking, not a Saturday guy. But yeah, Gasly, I'd say, yeah, I think Gasly down there is a bit of a surprise, but how much was that impeded by Stroll? Was that the best moment for his tyres? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm sure he'll have plenty to complain about afterwards. They always do, don't they? Red flag is for Antonelli's crash. He crashed at the Nouvelle Chicane, so he went into the first part, turn 10, hit the Armco, the barrier that sticks out there on the inside with his left front, and I think his left rear as well. And then that, as he carried on through the corner, the tyre came off and he went into the wall, and that was it, really. So we'll take probably looking at about a 5-minute delay, I would have thought, for the start of Q2, unless there is some severe damage to the barriers, which I wouldn't have thought so. On damage to the barriers, random side note, sort of. I was looking for some historic pictures of Monaco for the preview the other day, and I found some really interesting snaps from the 50s and the 60s of crashes where, you know, cars have gone sort of knocked the barriers down, and we know of it. Was it Ascari that ended up in a harbour once upon a time? But just seeing cars sort of on top of each other through a barrier and teetering on the edge of the harbour, and you think, God, could you imagine that now? the speeds we do now, but the safety, goodness me, kind of crazy how it used to be. But yeah, it's come a long way. That's what I'm saying. Here we go. Antonelli, hits the inside with his left front, and then tyre comes off its rim and then into the wall. I mean, it's not a hefty whack. He's gone into the end of the that's Tech Pro there, isn't it? So they'll need to put that back, but it's not a hefty hit. That car will 100% be repaired for tomorrow. There's plenty of time for that. Don't worry about that. But he's not gone in that hard, has he? So track is clear, so they've cleared that one already. DRS enabled. They're not out there just yet. This is Hamilton impeding, quote unquote, Max Verstappen. Through Massenet. He is on the inside. Massive impeding, says Verstappen on the radio with some expletives. Oh, Hamilton does seem to accelerate into there, doesn't he? Oh. Looks like... Yeah, so he was told on the radio, Hamilton, that Verstappen was 3 seconds behind, then said slowing down. So obviously after he's got that message, Hamilton, he's accelerated, which is what I just said through there, thinking that Verstappen wasn't on a hot lap, and then that's cause for impeding. I think that'll be a penalty there. That's not as slam dunk as the Stroll one, but I think that's a bit. I know. Fuss says, where could he have gone? But if you. That's what I was good. That was my first take from that. Was where else could he go? He can't go to the outside because he's already on the inside. He's slowed down. But when you listen on board, then put the team radio with it, he does appear to accelerate. So he was backing off to let Verstappen through, but then the team have said Verstappen was slowing down. So Hamilton has then gone, oh, okay, fair enough. I'll get on with it then. And then Verstappen's come flying past him. So that's poor communication for the team. I know, shocking. But I think. You know, the Stroll one and Gasly is a slam dunk. That one, we'll see what the stewards decide, but I'd be surprised if it isn't something. Hulkenberg has been noted and will be investigated following the race for failing to follow race director instructions and maximum delta time. That'll go the same way as they always bloody go. Yeah. If Hamilton gets a penalty for blocking Verstappen, watch the Team LH backlash, says Nick. It's not, I'll say this for the millionth time, it's not so much Team LH that are the problem. Lewis is on the racing line, Karoon saying there, is I think it is analysis, so... Yeah, poor communication. The one Gazzy Stroll's absolute slam dunk. Stroll's in, yeah, 100%. Red Raven says, someone needs to check the fresh water pipes in Maranello. That's the only explanation I have left for Ferrari these days. Yeah. Clancy says we're okay. It's the toxic ones. Yeah. That was kind of a point. Yeah. My experience with Team LH, so like Ruby, for example, Ruby is Team LH. There's a lot of banter there. We can have a laugh with it. We can have fun. We're kind of on the same side this year with him being a Ferrari now. So that changing slightly. But I know with Ruby, it's all good fun. But there are some people out there who, unless you include the word sir before you say his name, then you are scum of the earth and they will hunt you down and kick your ass. They'll go full Liam Neeson on you. Even though Hamilton was asked about it a couple of years ago when he got knighted, whether he wanted to be called sir, and he said he wasn't bothered, basically. I can't remember the exact quote, I'll find it one day, but he certainly wasn't overly fussed by it. So I still call Jackie Stewart, so there you go. I guess it depends on how you feel about knighthoods and that, but that's a conversation for not only another day but probably another channel, really. So I'm gonna set up a channel for ranting about things I can't do on F1. Oh dear. Right, so we've got cars queuing in the pit lane. We've still got session starts in a minute's time, so they're already waiting down there. So I'm just gonna have a quick drink and then I'm back with you in just a sec. Surely Ferrari can't be this bad by accident. They must be actively trying to screw up their drivers, says Mark. Yeah. What was I watching last night? I just saw Jeremy Clarkson mentioned in chat by farting golf balls. I was watching Clarkson's Farm last night, late to bed, because I ended up watching 3 instead of... I was going to watch 2 tonight, last night, 2 on Monday, then 2 on Friday when it comes out again, but I ended up watching 3 because I kind of got into it. I wanted to see what tractor he went with, and it wasn't the one I wanted to go with. Because now, since I've started playing Farming Simulator, by the way, I know everything about farming. I'm a little bit obsessed by it. I don't know everything about farming. I'm from Lincolnshire, so I probably should. But Q2 is underway. They're all going out straight away, as you'd expect. Albon and Sainz, or Hulkenberg, Albon, Sainz, and knock on the first 4 out on track. I won't spoil Clarkson's Farm for you, other than I love it. So there you go. But yeah, it's good. Leclerc out on track, Alonso, Lawson as well. So they're all going to be doing their slow laps now. RC says you play farming simulator. I can't think of anything more boring. It's not actually as boring as I thought. I always thought that, and it's just not. It's just ridiculously chill. If you just want something to do that requires very little thought and is nice and relaxing and no stress at all, then it's certainly the way to go. It's definitely not boring. I can promise you that. Not as boring as playing some of the other games I tend to play, like your FCs and your F1 games, which are basically just the same game as last year with updated rosters, let's say. With a few tweaks or replacing features they've taken out in the past and claiming they're new. That's far more boring to me. Still buys them though, like an idiot. I was going to say something then about Leclerc, but he's not on a hot lap, is he? So I'll say it looks a bit slow out there, but he will do. It's an out lap. Not a great surprise, really. RC says watching Man United play Spurs is more boring. Don't. So got PTSD from that. I can't even think about that anymore. I can't even think about that club at the moment. Yeah. This week is doors open in Toronto. We can go to buildings that normally you can't go into, says Kevin. Doors open into... Tell me more, Kevin. I'm really intrigued by that. Sorry, I'll keep it on quality. I might come back to you, Kevin. I'm intrigued by that idea. Is that like literally, like obviously not people's houses, but like historic buildings and things? Is that what you mean? Or because that sounds quite cool. Here we go then. Leclerc on the medium tyres. We've got mediums for Leclerc, Albon, Sainz, Hamilton, and Russell. So a few going to give the mediums a go first run here. Thought it was sideways there, but he wasn't. It's just the way the cameras are going into the hairpin then. Lowe's hairpin, hotel hairpin, hairpin, whatever you want to call it. It'll always be Lowe's to me. Other people have their own name for it, of course. Through Portier and into the tunnel for Leclerc. Big twitch on exit, as you'd expect, through there as he gets the power down. Love watching the cars through here. That camera angle I don't think has changed in years, has it, that one? Always the same. Into the chicane at 10-11, the Nouvelle chicane. As he makes the run down to Tabac. Not into Tabac. Oh, into Tabac. Yeah, ignore the commentator, but it is still a great line. Through the swimming pool section. Purple in the middle sector, as you might expect, given he is the fastest car at the moment to do a lap. Lawson goes fastest, 11.6. Alonso, 11.8. Ocon, 12.5. Hulkenberg, Albon, and Sainz not really representative times. And Charles Leclerc over the line. It is a 1:11.314. Saving softs for the race, says Louis. Maybe. We see they held up well in Quali 1, didn't they, there? So, pushing hard for 18 minutes. They might do more laps than we expected in the race if they wanted to, but we'll see. Norris round the final corner. Piastri going quickly as well. Just see Norris over the line. Then I'll read Kevin's response for anyone else who's interested. Says historic buildings, new architecture, water treatment plant, old courthouse, jail. There you go. Oh, that's interesting. That's a good policy. I like that. I like that. We're having more and more serious conversations about moving to Canada, by the way, just so you know. So if things go quiet on the channel for a week or two at some point randomly in a couple of years' time, you'll know why. I'll let you know in advance, of course. Over the line goes Max Verstappen on a 1:11.1. Norris at a 1:10.9. Russell's lost power. Is what he's saying. Where is he on track? He is slow through, really slow through the tunnel. In fact, he's stopping in the tunnel. That will be a red flag. I'll get my finger on a button ready for this one. I don't control the one by race control, or do I? Ah, yeah, maybe I do. Red flag as soon as Leclerc gets pole in Q1 and Q3. That's it. End it. Yeah, Mercedes are done. George Russell down in 14th. We're going to get 14th and 15th for Mercedes. It is game over for Merc. Russell stopped in the tunnel. Red flag. Lost power. Steering wheel still lit up, so not electrical power then. What it says on the radio. Been trying to restart it. Turn it off and on again. Please tell me that works. Please. Please work. It's not it's not my George Russell fanboy weekend. Honestly, I'd love it if it was just a case of turning it off and on again. That would make my day. More than any pole position for any Ferrari driver. That would have been great. Yeah, who called Russell for red flag? Somebody did, didn't they? No, he's punched steering wheels. It's over. I was going to get ready to do the old the IT crowd. Have you tried turning it off and on again in a really bad Irish accent, but I didn't. That saved me from that one. There we go. Yeah, George Russell out. He will start 14th alongside Kimi, Antonelli. Penalties pending, of course. Depends what happens with a couple of those. For example, Hamilton, who is still under investigation, will be investigated after the session for his impeding. So, you were meant. Fudd says, but George Russell, you were the chosen one. You were meant to finish P3, not Q2. There you go. Owen said Russell red flag. There we go. Owen gets a point for his Russell red flag prediction. Kevin says if he restarted his car once the red flag, he's out. No, question mark. No. If the marshals had touched his car, then yeah, it would have been over. But if he'd have got going, he would have been fine. I know in F2 and F3, or I think in F2 and F3, if you cause a red flag, your fastest time is deleted. Has that carried over to F1 yet, or are they just trialing that over there first? They tend to do that, don't they, and then bring it through. Boomspoo says the colours of the teams on the timing chart makes it seem like Albon never lost his Red Bull seat. I said that earlier, that the Williams, I know that the Racing Bulls have got like the black background behind the names, but if you look at just the colours, the Williams, the Racing Bulls and the Red Bulls, just a quick glance, aren't all that different, are they? They're very similar. So, yeah, I'm not sure if that's carried over yet. But yeah, he's not set a time anyway. That's a good point. I mean, if he got it started now, it'd be game over because he is being touched by the marshals now, or the car is being touched by the marshals. Let's not. Wow. That's up at Massenet. So his car lost power at Massenet, and he's gone downhill all the way to the tunnel, losing power. That's quite a distance. Wow. I guess it is all downhill, isn't it, from here? Not life, just the track. Yeah, so just round the hairpin, yeah. Just you can still hear his engine, but it's just lost the power or losing power. And I'm guessing he's switching it off as he goes through the tunnel, but yeah. At least people will stop calling Russell an outside bet for the championship, said Nick the Greek. I think I saw you on Twitter the other day responding to a Planet F1 post, because I was just checking some stuff on their account, ready for uploads this weekend. And I think I saw a response from you where you said something about, I think one of the graphic quotes is about Russell being a championship outsider. And I was like, oh, I bet that's my Nick. No perfect fit. It really went downhill for Russell. There you go. Pushing him all the way back to the pit, says Kevin. And Pascal says Hulkenberg will be at least P13. Hey, Pascal. Hopefully. Some good positions here for Sauber. What we're watching here is this is Piastri. Big oversteer at turn 5, sorry. Nearly clouted the wall on the exit. Not a million miles away. So at the moment, under the red flag, which if you're just tuning in was caused by George Russell, who's been wheeled all the way out of the tunnel, down the hill, and down to where Damon Hill parked up all those years ago when his engine failed, when he was cruising to victory in Monaco for Williams. Or if you prefer, not far from where Perez had his big crash. That was a lot of pushing. That was a long way to push that car, but I'm guessing, again, once you get it there, you can let it roll. So there we go. So the track is clear in Sector 10 and Sector 11. I'll just be finishing off down there now. So we should be getting going very, very soon, which is good news. But yeah, George Russell lost power, stopped in the tunnel. So he is out, and Kimi Antonelli crashed right at the end of Q1 at the Nouvelle Chicane, 10-11, the exit of. So he's out as well. So at best, Mercedes will start 14th and 15th tomorrow. Well, they're not investigated, and I think Antonelli should be fine to be repaired. So I suppose at worst, 14th and 13th, because there could be some penalties handed out for others. So, yeah. Brutal for Damon and Jean Lacey. Both have made worthy would have made worthy Monaco 96 winners. Lacey was, what happened in the pit? It was something in the pits with the Lacey, wasn't it? Or one of the Benettons that they were faffing around with, that they got it all wrong in there. Was it stalling? I might think it's something else, but yeah. That was the race where, I think, was it 3 drivers classified at the end? Chaos. Right. So it doesn't sound... I think that's... sorry, this is Ted Kravitz there saying about they're not going to make a decision in session regarding Lewis Hamilton. So that's going to be an end of session thing, which is a little bit frustrating, because if he qualifies, say, 8th... and would have got a 3-place grid drop, then that may knock an Ocon, for example, out of a Q3 appearance. But that's the way the stewards want to do it, so there we go. Paula is chatting to Pascal about a podium for Sauber. That would be quite cool. It'd be nice if I still think it would be nice if Hulkenberg could get a podium, But if Hulkenberg is only ever going to get one podium, I kind of would love it. And I said this a few years ago in Stuart's pre-season predictions that we used to do. It'd be really cool if Hulkenberg's only ever F1 podium comes with a win. I think that'd be quite cool. So I kind of would, ends with the pole in Brazil from 2010 and a win and one podium, but that podium is the win. I'd like to see a win more than that, but I think that'd be quite cool if he only ever got one podium and that was victory. And somewhere like Monaco, a proper historic track. It'd be quite cool. But yeah, I feel like poor Nico Hulkenberg, it's never going to happen for him, but it would be good. Just joined, says Paranormal in History. What's Hamilton done? Hamilton's been noted or will be investigated after session for impeding Verstappen up at Massenet. A bit of confusion. It might surprise you. A bit of confusion and miscommunication from Ferrari. I know. Barely happens. His engineer told him that Verstappen was coming up behind, then told him Verstappen was slowing down, so Hamilton appeared to speed up a bit. And then he was kind of in an awkward place through Massenet up at turn 3, and Verstappen had to go around him, and it might be impeding. So Stewart's going to investigate that after the session. So there we go. Red Raven says that man won Le Mans. I think he'll manage. Oh yeah, he'll take that over a podium in F1, I'm sure. But it would just be nice. It's got to remember there's a world outside of Formula One, plenty going. I mean, it's Indy 500 weekend as well. So let me know in chat if you can be watching that tomorrow or bits of it tonight in the UK. I think a lot of racing fans try to find time for it, in my experience, but not everyone will, of course. That's each to their own. It's been 13 years since the last podium for Sauber. Kobayashi third in Suzuka, says Pascal. Is it 13 years? 2012. Yeah. Yeah, would have been around there, wouldn't it? Yeah. They had a really good couple of seasons, actually, Sauber, didn't they? Perez got a podium or maybe 2. Certainly 1. Kobayashi got 1. Suzuka, like you say. Yeah, so it has been that long. Did you watch the hot dog race, says John Jones? No, I've seen photos of it. I've not seen it yet. I'm going to go and look for that on the YouTubes later. But looked hilarious. Absolutely bonkers. Alfie Alf says, thank you for making me feel old, Pascal. And Kevin watches a condensed version of the 500. Cut it to 10 minutes for me. There you go. Yeah. Here we go. We're ready to get going again. I said we might be a bit longer today, with there being likely red flags. That's the second one of the session. And we are go again for Q2. Hulkenberg first out on track, followed by Alex Albon as George Russell walks back to the pits just as cars are starting to leave. What a shame for him. He'll be disappointed, I'm sure. I say, disappointed is a crap line for Monaco. Disappointed if that happens in Bahrain, but you've still got a shot of points from there. In Monaco, you're going to need either the most incredible strategy on this mandatory 2-stop or absolute chaos from there. So, yeah, not happy, George Russell, understandably. Yeah, not surprised, RC. But I don't want to get into football chat. Maybe we'll find some time at some point. Maybe I'll do a stream on Twitch or something and we'll talk football. But I don't think there's more than 3 or 4 players are bothered to keep in that squad, quite frankly. Maybe still a bit raw and maybe a bit over the top, but felt utterly betrayed on Wednesday night. If they can't be bothered to turn up and play for the shirt and for the fans, then they can, with all due respect, F off, the lot of them. Club before players. Anyway, we're not getting to football talk. I actually work with a couple of Spurs fans as well, so it's just everywhere in the HR system. I'm like, oh, go away. Hamilton down at the hairpin then. So people working out your football going, oh, please, not football talk. Don't worry. It's just that me and RC both support the same club. We both like to moan, so we just have a little brief chats in streams, but it won't be any more than that. We're here for F1. It's what we love. First love F1. Second love football. That's a lie. First love is the dog. Let's be honest here. Yeah, football chat is for the race tomorrow, says Jim. Yeah, that's true. When nothing's happening, we talk football tomorrow. It's fine. Yeah, dogs were first love, obviously. But Partner's about 5th on the list, somewhere there, after last week's comments. 5th-ish. I'm not going to do a full list. Otherwise, I might start insulting more people. Here we go then. Hamilton to start his flying lap then. Before the red flag, Norris, a 1:10.959 was the fastest. We've got 7 minutes and 40 to go. Ocon, Tsunoda, Piastri all in the drop zone. Russell and Antonelli will not go through anyway, so they're out. So we're looking at the 3 to eliminate from this session. Lando Norris an 18.666 in the middle, in the first sector. Hamilton beats that by 700ths as he comes through Mirabeau and down to the Lowe's hairpin. Nicely through that. I just love it's almost full lock through there. It's brilliant. In fact, pretty much full lock, isn't it? Look at that. Good stuff. Through Portier. Little correction, but looking good. Into the tunnel. Camera corrects itself. I look. This is just so good on board through the tunnel. Not as good as the old days. We couldn't see half of it because the picture would go all crackly and fuzzy. But yeah, still good stuff. Purple and purple for Leclerc, by the way. So he's absolutely flying. Quicker than his teammate and Lando Norris through there. So he's about to set a very good lap time indeed. In fact, Leclerc goes fastest on a 1:10.5, nearly 4 tenths quicker than Lando Norris. Here comes Lewis Hamilton through, I'm going to say Anthony Noge, but I think I pronounced that wrong, so apologies, as Hamilton goes second, 3 tenths behind Leclerc. Anthony Noge, I suppose, isn't it, rather than Anthony? Piastri into Rascasse. He needs a lap here. He's a long way to go in this session still, so should be okay, unless he stuffs it in the wall now, but he's okay. Through the final corner, down the start-finish curve thing. Goes 4th place on a 10.9. So it was a 12-1, the knockout, in Q1. So what would you think for Q2? Let me know what you think in chat. Somewhere around Hulkenberg, 11.8, maybe? Maybe quicker than that? Track will keep ramping up, of course. So, Sainz goes 7th, 11.3. Mediums are all right here for Welsh. Look at Crofty. Thank you in my ear. Albon and Sainz and Alonso all on mediums, and they're not doing bad there, the Williams, at all. Only a 10th off Piastri there is Albon. Norris through Portier, which... You can see on the left there as you go through there. They're building up that area, aren't they? Have they reclaimed more land there? It says 11.5, I'd say. Maybe about a second off Leclerc, somewhere around there. We'll split the difference there and say 11.650. There you go. We might be right somewhere now. You're right about the Russell thing, so there you go. I'll believe you on that. Alonso goes to a 1:11.2, 6 tenths. Off the fastest time into 7th place. Norris is improving, by the way. Green and green. Norris 10.5.7. Sorry, I'll read that in a minute. But yeah, Lawson as well. He's been good this weekend, so I'd be surprised if he gets knocked out here. I think we could be in a situation, especially actually with the 2 Mercedes gone, where Racing Bulls could get both their cars through here. Might get some a good, nice mixed top 10. Over the line goes Lawson, goes into 9th ahead of Hadjar, 11.3. It's really tight down there again. 11.4 for Hadjar. Tsunoda improving. Lap times deleted for Sainz again. It keeps throwing those up. It must be different laps, but Tsunoda only 10th. Just knocks Hadjar out by 0.003 of a second. Projected knockout is an 11.2. Who said 11.2? Nick the Greek did. There you go. We weren't far off, Owen, but Nick the Greek wins that one. 11.2, the projected knockout. Hamilton through the final corner. Onto the straight. Again, I keep calling it straight. It's not. It's a banana. Over the line he goes. What? Doesn't really improve, does he? No, stays 3rd. 1:10.883. Dog is a cockapoo, Kevin, and he's called Baxter. And he'll have heard me say his name now, so I'll be in trouble. Yes, little black and white. He's so cute. But he is such... I cannot tell you the socks I've got through because of him. I don't know, forget the socks I've got. The socks that are missing because of him. I swear he has thumbs and can access drawers. I'm telling you now. Watching that camera through the final corner. Here goes Verstappen and starting a flying lap on the softs. It is used softs, but it might be the softs that he used for that. Yeah, it was. It's only 4 laps on them, so they're new-ish, but pretty much still new, so... If the Mercs were still in, Yuki would be out, says Kevin. Yeah, pretty sure on that one as well, to be fair, yeah. Red Bull needs Yuki up there, but... I mean, look. Did Verstappen hit the wall there on exit, or was that just the bump, maybe? Made it look like it, but... No, he's still going, so he should be okay. Into the new Welsh case, so I was having to think there about... something completely random, but yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow probably. Another thing I wanted to bring up this weekend just for a chat, something to debate and discuss. We can do that pre-race tomorrow maybe. Max Verstappen then coming through the final couple of corners. He's currently 6th on the 111.1. He is improving, but at the moment McLaren seem to have found some pace now. It's been all Ferrari and Red Bull today up until this point as Verstappen goes 3rd. Oh, Norris, Leclerc, Verstappen, top 3. Here comes Piastri. Piastri only 5th. So at the moment, it's McLaren versus Ferrari. All this morning through practice and the first session of qualifying, it looked like we were looking at Verstappen versus the Ferraris. All of a sudden, McLaren back in the game. Track temperature has dropped a degree. Air temperature dropped a little bit as well. So not sure whether that's got anything to do with it. Maybe. Disrupting people's runs with the red flag, perhaps. Causing some of that. We'll see. We'll see in Q3. That's what really matters, of course, for those. Alonso told will box this lap. says woo woo. I cannot do more, mate. So Alonso is absolutely delighted with 7th. The unluckiest man in the world is 7th place now, so I imagine he'll probably end up in 11th by the end of this session somehow, because he's just that unlucky at the moment. I'm determined he's going to score a damn point, by the way. 7th, you could bank on him for points there unless he stuffs it in the wall, but Isaac Hadjar, hello, purple first sector, beaten by one Alex Albon. Those guys are Albon, of course, trying to medium. So watch out here for Isaac Hadjar and Alex Albon. They might be about to throw a spanner in the works for the unluckiest man in the world. I hope not. I'd be gutted for him. Just a point for Fernando. That's all I want. 1 point for Fernando. No more, no less. That's fine. I can't see him down there pointless for any longer. Nicely there, Hadjar. Still quick. 3/10 up on Tsunoda. Tsunoda's in trouble here and is not improving. As Alex Esteban Ocon goes 8th. Good lap from Ocon, that actually. A 1:11.2. That is the cutoff. Lawson goes 8th. That might just spare Alonso any concerns there. Checkered flag is out. Over the line goes Hadjar, goes 6th. What's Albon going to do? Here comes Alex Albon, goes 3rd on a 1:10.7. I know it's only Q2, but that's a heck of a lap. Yuki Tsunoda, I don't think is going to improve here. He's yellow and yellow through the first 2 sectors. Over the line, he's not. He is out in P12 here. Hulkenberg not improving. Sainz didn't improve. He is a 1:11.3 and sits 11th. So I think Piastri is having to get his lap in here, but doesn't, or wants to get his lap in, but I imagine will pit. Is Hulkenberg going to finish his lap? No, he doesn't. So we've lost. Already we knew Russell and Antonelli were gone from this session, but we've lost Carlos Sainz, Yuki Tsunoda, and Nico Hulkenberg. Oh, big slide from Piastri. Nearly hit the wall on the exit. That's a... He goes 4th fastest and improves, but I just wonder if... I know it's about getting yourself in a zone, but I wonder if the team there, I'm just looking at the way the car stepped out. If he clouted the wall then, that could have been session over. Did the team need to come on the radio a few corners before that and tell him he was through and to box? Rather than risking that? It's Monaco, isn't it? Got to let it go. But Tsunoda's out, yeah. Sainz is a bit of a surprise, actually. I suppose, really, the 2 surprises in that session... Alonso 8th and Ocon 10th, but then it's a track where the driver really can make the difference, so maybe not a surprise to see Alonso up there. He did seem to clip the wall, didn't he? But yeah, why didn't Piastri ball? That's what I was thinking, Nick. It seems like a big risk to take, but he's okay. He's okay. Hulkenberg, whoa. Do you know, that is one of my favourite shots in Monaco, is coming through I call it the second part of the swimming pool. That right hander. We're going to watch. He did. Quite a heftier whack, actually, than I thought it was. We're going to get another. We're going to go to adverts now on Sky, because, why not? Yeah, bigger clout than I thought, actually, but he'll be okay. That corner where they sort of they go to the right hander and they almost push the barrier on the inside back. I love that. You don't want to get any closer than that. That's one of those hero or zero moments for sure. What's happening to Piastri? His track just not suits his strengths, says Shannon. Hey, Shannon, I don't know. Maybe the crash, was it yesterday or this morning, where he went straight on at the first corner and broke his... Maybe that got into his mind a little bit. I don't know. I feel that's a bit of a cop-out. He should be able to deal with that. Inexperience, only his second year in F1, maybe. I don't know. He's in it. He's, despite walloping the wall there, only 0.3 off Norris fastest. I think as this session goes, we're going to Q3 and the track continues to ramp up and the session keeps going, I think he will bring himself into play. But Norris does just seem to have the edge at the moment, doesn't he? But I'm just surprised at how open it is at the front, given that it was looking like Ferrari versus McLaren. Then it became Ferrari versus Red Bull. Then it became Ferrari versus McLaren again. It's I say Red Bull, I mean Verstappen, of course. But it's, yeah. That's something that needs to be banned. I'll say it on stream. There you go. Any video game that uses the line, not actual gameplay footage, as far as I'm concerned, is false advertising. That shouldn't be allowed. Anyway. Especially when it's a mobile game like F1 Clash. It looks nothing like that. Anyway. Can we just skip Q3 and have this as a starting order? Says Alvasion. No, I want Leclerc on pole. Ferrari this weekend again. I'm back to Ferrari. I've forgiven them. I've forgiven them for the chaos of Miami. Lawson back to Red Bull by next race as Arctic Salt. Well, I was going to say earlier, actually, and again, maybe this is a conversation for tomorrow, maybe want to think about overnight and come back to me and have a proper chat tomorrow, but, Lawson got 2 races at Red Bull, didn't really work for him. Tsunoda is in his 6th race with them now, and I would say that he is doing a better job than Lawson, but I don't think he's doing anything particularly special. Which I think highlights how bad that second car is. We know that already, so I'm not going to blame any driver in that car. But I do wonder if they'd left Lawson in there, whether he'd be at this point where Tsunoda is now anyway, with the experience of that car. I don't know. The team know more than I do. They know what he was like behind the scenes. Apparently his confidence was shot. So, but I wasn't expecting Yuki to get in that car and blow everyone away, because that's just not the way the second car is at Red Bull. But I probably expected a little bit more. But I'll say that. I mean, he's had top 10 finishes and top 10 in qualify a few times, hasn't he? So he's definitely a step up, but just not really blowing me away. At least it's better than those annoying adverts they used to have on Twitter with the guy and the removable walls, says Fud. The removable walls? Try to think. Kevin says, I could just see Sean talking to Baxter saying, why do I keep supporting Ferrari? They always break my heart. I swear. I never thought I'd be... When I was a kid, we always had dogs when I was growing up. And I always talked to them like people. I never thought when I grew up I'd keep doing that. I talked to him like a human, to the point where I even answer myself back sometimes in a different voice, as if it's him. It's pet ownership, I think, is the thing. I think everyone probably won't admit to doing it, but I think everybody probably does do it at some point. But yeah. The puzzle game, says Charlie. I can't think of that one, actually. Oh, yeah, those... Oh, I know the ones you mean. And then you click on it and it's like a really crappy memory game thing and it looks nothing like that. I know the ones you mean. Yeah, I've got you. They're all over Facebook, actually, instead of Twitter now. So my box is about to go to shut down, which will be terrible. There we go. When my cat meows, I can translate it and get really detailed. Absolutely. The thing is with a dog, and if you're just tuning in, by the way, we're just in this little gap between sessions. I'm not ignoring F1, don't worry. The problem with dogs is they've got this, and my dog at least, he just communicates with his eyes. He knows exactly where. I've got a little pot of treats next to me. I break them in half because I don't want to like overfeed him and he don't want to end like me. But yeah, he knows. It's just a look I get. I know when I'm in trouble or I know when he wants something. So please do leave a like, by the way, while you're waiting for the session to get going. 72 likes, 668 of you here. Thank you so much for tuning in to the most important qualifying session of the season. I keep saying it. But yeah, please do drop a like. Really appreciate the support. And subscribe if you're new as well. Lots to come this season. What have we got coming this weekend? There'll be the Watchalong tomorrow. There'll be something, some shorts as well from the stream if you didn't catch the full stream in the week. There'll be the preview as well. Lots to come this season. We are, like I said last week, we are going to make some tweaks, I think, to how things are done. Because I think the feedback from you guys, I think we need to listen to that. So that is something that will be addressed in a meeting at some point, I'm sure, and we'll make the tweaks we need to. But yeah, lots of content as always. So yeah, please do drop a like and subscribe. Really appreciate that one. Mark says, just hit 1 a.m. here in Oz. Glad I won't miss much if I don't watch the race tonight. Fair enough. Quali's pretty good though, Mark. So we've got a very open qualifying session here. So we're staying up for that one. My lab is sleeping on my feet, ATM. Leonard, Alfred, Bartholomew. Oh, great. I like that lab. That's clever. I like it. Annette says, yeah, I mean, seriously, my cat is one of the most intelligent people I know. It's true. It's true. Ferrari versus Williams in Big 2025, says the Sage. That'd be amazing. The cat is letting me use the chair, which is nice of her. Yeah, that's rare. I wonder how many red flags will happen tomorrow. I reckon we'll get one. The spiteful side of me wouldn't mind two, so everyone changes tyres during it, so I can go, told you so. I informed you thusly. But yeah, no. I'd be surprised if we don't get safety cars tomorrow. Maybe one red. Here we go then. We are green at the end of the pit lane for Q3. 12 minutes in this one. Let's decide who's on pole position. Fabian says, I know there is a mandatory two-stop, but are they also using softer tyres like in Imola or just the usual set? So the tyres this weekend are the C4, the C5 and the C6. Hard C4, soft C6. They are the softest in the range. So same tyres as Imola. But they only have to use, and this is where I think they've made a mistake on this, they only have to use 2 compounds. They have to use 3 different sets of tyres, wet or dry, but only 2 compounds. So you can do 2 stints on the hards and 1 on the mediums, for example, so long as you use different compounds and pit twice, which I think is a mistake. I think, in my opinion, it should be all 3 compounds. I think if you throw in the soft C6 into that race tomorrow, that could actually give us some really interesting stuff. So, but there you go. Craig says he's snoring like a trooper. The pooch. I think, was it the cat? A dog, sorry. I've forgotten now, Craig. It's my memory. It's my memory. Yeah, the lab. There we go. Here we go. Who we got then? Who you got for poll? Quickly in chat. One surname. Who is your poll sitter for the day? Who's going to get it? I'm going to stick with Leclerc with all the bias in the world and all the hope and very little expectation because I know what's going to happen. We've been here before. Let's just give me all this hope and build it up, and then Leclerc qualifies 6th and Hamilton's 9th. You watch. You watch. CPB's gone Norris. Shannon, Jean-Pierre, Sema, they've gone Leclerc. The Sage said Alonso. I'm delusional. Hey, who knows? He's number 1 at the minute. There you go. Pascal's gone Leclerc. Charlotte, I want Albon, says Kevin. I asked for pole, Kevin, not who you want. How's the set's fastest time? Loses pole with a 1 place drop to Leclerc, says Fudd. That'd be typical, wouldn't it? Alvasian says Albon. Nick's gone with Leclerc. Duckrutter's gone with Stoff, the only correct answer. Piastri, but I know I'm being wishful, says Annette. Paranormal in history goes Leclerc. Piastri starting his lap now, so we'll keep an eye on this now. We've done some predictions. I said, who did I say on? I said Verstappen, pole and win on Thursday. Mark A says Max as well in chat, but I feel like Leclerc's probably the way to go, or Norris, but I'll stick with Verstappen because I have to, otherwise there's no point doing predictions on a Thursday. Crypti says Albon. Paula's going Max as well. Piastri, obviously purple in the first sector. as well. I say, obviously, he's a 10th up on Norris. So here we go. Used tyres, by the way. Hamilton, Hadjar, Alonso. Mediums for Ocon and Albon. And Lawson on used tyres as well. So Lawson, anyone on used, sort of ignore their first run, really. But we'll see. Albon is on mediums, according to the timing tower. Keep an eye out for him as Norris goes purple in the middle. So this is nip and tuck between the two McLarens. Piastri first over the line of those two and does a 1:10.5. Alonso and Ocon, they're not representative times. Keep an eye on those for a few minutes now. Here comes Lando Norris at the final corner. Down the start-finish banana. Over the line he goes. It's a 1:10.464. Nearly 700s between them in the end. Alonso fourth. Ocon in third. Hamilton now goes into third place on those used tyres on a 1:10.9. Half a second off. I think if you adjust that to new tyres, that might bring him into play there. Here comes Leclerc on fresh tyres. Only third. I told you. 1:10.6, 0.2 of a second off in the end. Verstappen has done the sectors but not put a good lap together, so hasn't actually got a time there. Did he pit? He didn't know. Mediums for Ocon and Albon, so keep an eye on those two. Verstappen, here he goes now. Those sectors, of course, are green because he was on an outlap. That's why I'm getting confused, so there we go. Paul says Nigel Mansell for pole. There you go. There's a flashback for you. When was Nigel Mansell's last poll? There's a question for you, Paul. A bit of Googling there for you. I would do it, but I'm live. But yeah, 94? Somewhere around there, maybe? Came back for a bit, didn't he? For obvious reasons. But yeah. Obvious if you know your history, of course, your F1 history. Lawson and Alonso. So Alonso's on these used softs as well. So those times not fully representative, but not bad either, by the way. Verstappen, a 10th down, 10th and a half down on Norris in the middle sector. Where is he in the first sector? Matching him in the first sector. It's all about this final sector now. What can he do? We know the McLarens were pretty good in the middle earlier in this session, weren't they? So have they found something? Were they keeping something back? And Verstappen only goes fourth. It was looking like, goodness me, what a weird weekend. It's been great fun. If you're just tuning in, at one point this weekend, it was looking like Ferrari versus McLaren. Then it looked like it was Ferrari versus Verstappen. Now it looks like McLaren versus McLaren. All of a sudden. So there we go. Adelaide 94. Thank you, Nick, for Nigel Mansell's last poll. We're 9 likes away from 100, by the way, so please do drop a like. And if we can get there before the end of Q3, that'd be amazing. So thank you very much for your support, as always. I want us to take that kink out after the tunnel, says Kevin. What, the chicane? It's not really a chicane, is it? But yeah. That's a long run to back with no runoff, though, isn't it? That's the only trouble. McLaren decided to wake up last minute, says Nick. Yeah. Pretty much. It was just all to white. It was just to tease me, wasn't it? Oh, Ferrari pole. Oh no, it's all over. It's all over. If that stays like that puts McLaren in such a strong position tomorrow. Although would make it difficult if we got safety cars if they decided to double stack, wouldn't it? So that's a point to bear in mind for tomorrow. Double stacking could be a nightmare under safety cars in that pit lane. No, I was born in 1986, Craig. Oh, God. It feels even older when it's from last century. 1986 for me. First F1 season I watched was 92. I wish I was born in 94. Next year's a big year, and I'm not looking forward to it. It's depressing. And I'm aware Annette's going to come and shout at me now, and Kevin as well, probably. But yeah. Lewis says it's those brakes, McLaren brakes. Yeah, maybe. I do love, by the way, we came out of Imola with these 3 technical directives that have suddenly come out of nowhere before the Imola weekend that have now been revealed, and the FIA are like, oh, no. Nobody's doing anything. We just thought we'd clarify this. And it's like, oh, what, like the asymmetrical brakes last year? No one was using them, but we felt they need to clarify. Always important to clarify regulations when no one's doing anything wrong, isn't it? That's just my tinfoil hat. Don't worry, I'm not buying into the conspiracies. I just like to play along. 92 was Nigel Mansell's last Monaco pole, says Paul. There's an extra stat there. Why not? Love that. Suhan says, how are you doing? I'm good, thank you. Hope you are. Thanks for popping along, and hope you're having a good weekend so far. We've got 4 minutes left in this session. Oh, everyone is pitting for fresh tyres this time, so it's not going to be the same as other sessions where they've just kept going round and round and round. I wonder what Albon will do. Do you reckon he'll switch to softs? Kevin was in uni in 1986, and that was is that the year you were born, Annette? I'm just being very, very careful here. I don't really like saying something I get shouted at by Annette. It's just scary. I don't want to be told off. Here goes Piastri there, down to Miro. He's purple in the first sector. Nearly 2/10 up, actually, on Norris. So game on here. And Norris even quicker. Oh, purple as well. But I tell you what, there is 7 thousandths of a second between them in that first sector. This is game on between the two McLarens. This is fantastic at the moment. Albon has got out on a soft tyre. Hamilton apparently still on used softs. Now he's on new softs. There we go. It's updated there. So everyone is on a soft tyre. The Albon medium experiment did not work. So Piastri purple in the middle sector, 3.5 tenths, 0.345. What will Norris do? Will he go even quicker? He won't. It's 0.219. This is so close. It is anyone's game here between Norris and Piastri. Over the line goes Oscar with a 1:10.1, 3 tenths quicker than Norris. What can Norris do as he comes through the final corner now? Down the start-finish banana. Does he beat him? He does indeed by... Wow, 15 thousandths of a second between the two McLarens. And this is where Charles Leclerc is going to come and beat them both. Come on, Charles. We've got this. And they can go again, McLaren here, you know. There is time to cool things off, but that is very close at the front. Here goes Lewis Hamilton. He's still got to start a lap, actually. I think McLaren were almost going in the gap there. I was alive during the Ferrari era, Sage. It was incredible. I'll never forget those years. There was a lot of pain in there. 98 in particular, 97 obviously, I know. 99 was frustrating with the leg breaking up and sort of gutting as well. But 2000 to 2004, even 2006 as well, the title fight was incredible. But yeah, wow. Here goes Lewis Hamilton. Oh, now what have you got, Ferrari? This is your chance. And what can Verstappen do? We'll watch these laps start up now. These are going to be their last runs. The McLaren can go again, but have they taken all the life out of those tyres? They are hot laps, by the way. His back end out there. He's a 10.5 down the first sector, but he is improving his Hamilton. 18.3. Charles Leclerc coming through now. Is he? 700ths. That was a squeak. He's close. He's in the mix here, Leclerc. He needs a good middle and final sector, though. 700ths off. Verstappen's only 46 thousandths, or however you want. Yeah, whatever you want. 400ths, 4.5 whatever you want to say. Off that one. Hamilton's sort of bringing himself back into play. His lap is improving. He's getting closer, but he's still about 1/10 of a second down, so he needs a really good final sector here. Can he split the McLarens? Getting there. So Hadjar goes 5th, by the way, on a 1:10.9. Leclerc goes purple in the middle sector. Don't do this to me, Charles. Over the line goes Lewis Hamilton, 3rd place. I'm watching Leclerc like a hawk now as he comes through. Rascassi is up in the middle sector. By a good 1/10 of a second, this is still close. Charles Leclerc coming to the line for Ferrari. Pole position as it stands, but Piastri's on the move. He's purple in the first sector. This is close. What can Verstappen do? Come on, Max. You and Charles in the front row. Go on. Why not? Only 5th for Verstappen. That's a surprise. Norris is improving as well. So here goes Piastri. Stay second. Have I celebrated too early? Oh, no offense to McLaren fans, but oh my God. Oh, you jammy bastard. Lando Norris, 1099, 1/10 of a second. Oh, well, I celebrated too early. Damn. Bye, everyone. I'm joking. Oh, so close. So close. Oh, Lando Norris. Happy for Lando, obviously, but 1099. I thought Leclerc had that then. Interesting stuff, by the way. Purple first sector Piastri, purple second sector Leclerc, purple third sector Norris. It was tight out there, really, across those laps. Norris fastest at 109.954. He's on pole for the Monaco Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc, second place. Could take the lead on the run to turn 1. Probably won't. Oscar Piastri, third place. Just under 2/10 or just over a tenth and a half, whichever way you want to look at it. Half full, half empty and all that. For Piastri in third, off of pole. Fourth for Hamilton. Only fifth for Verstappen. Don't forget, this morning and first, sort of early on in quite, it looked like he was in the mix for pole, but 7/10 of a second away in the end. Hadjar, a great sixth place, by the way, for Racing Bulls. 7th for Alonso. We missed that one. Great lap there. Ocon 8th. Lawson 9th. Albon only 10th. I think a little bit surprised there. I don't know how you feel in chat. A little bit surprised to see Albon 10th and Sainz 11th. The two Racing Bulls, a Haas and an Aston Martin ahead of them. Intriguing. But yeah, Albon 10th, Sainz 11th, Tsunoda only 12th, Hulkenberg 13th, Russell and Antonelli both brought out red flags. Russell for mechanical problems, pulled over and stopped. Antonelli with a crash at the Nouvelle Chicane, he's 15th. Bortoleto 16th, Bearman 17th, Gasly 18th, Stroll 19th, Colapinto 20th. I'll run through it all properly in a minute for the timestamp and all that. But yeah, that's where we sit at the moment. Obviously, Hamilton, he's got to go see the stewards. No further action, by the way, on Hulkenberg for failing to follow race director's instructions on a maximum delta time. That's the way that always seems to go, or 9 times out of 10 anyway, at least. But yeah. Martello says, wow, I heard your jammy bastard as I was dipping little jammy dodger into tea. There you go. I was talking about you. There you go. Yeah, obviously I don't mean jammy bastard for Lando Norris. That's a great lap around Monaco. Thoroughly deserved. Just for a second, Ferrari made me believe. But I mean, look, come on. That's pretty good for Ferrari when you think about where they've been for much of this season. So I've got to be happy with second and fourth there for the Scuderia. But yeah, Verstappen down in fifth. If Albon could have just been fifth place, that would have been what I've been wanting all season. McLaren, Ferrari, Williams in the top 3. Damn it. But yeah, now I want rain, says Kevin. Lizzie says, nice seeing the Red Bull that close to Verstappen. Yeah. Yeah, actually, do you know, yeah, no, you've got a point, Lizzie. Only 2.5 tenths off Verstappen is Isaac Hadjar in the Racing Bulls. Isaac Hadjar, who I suspect will probably, if he keeps going away, be in that car next season. I know people think about mid-season changes, but I think give him the season. Let him keep doing what he's doing. He's doing a great job. Hadjar best rookie in Monaco, says Pascal. Yeah, good shout. Yeah, he is, isn't he? And actually, I think we agreed, didn't we, over the winter? We count Lawson as a rookie for the first half of the season because he's not done the first half in F1, but he has done much of the second half. So are we still sticking to that? In which case, the next one is Lawson. Otherwise, you have to go all the way to Antonelli for the next rookie. So actually, that's a hell of an effort from Hadjar when you think about it. When will Red Bull promote Max to Racing Bulls? Very good, Nick. Very good. Norris will bottle the start. Leclerc gets a jump, and then they crash in turn 1. Oh, don't, Mark. Don't lose me a Ferrari at turn 1. I can't have that. No, the next rookie is Alonso. Of course it is. Of course it is. There you go. I'm going to have a quick sip of a drink. Then we'll run through the order because I'll need to pause for the timestamp. And then I'll take a ton of your questions and we'll speculate about tomorrow and make some predictions. So give me 15 seconds, I'm back with you. $150. That's all I need to remember. Here we go. Sema was timing. I think it was quicker than 15 seconds there. So, Lando Norris is on pole position for the 2025 Monaco Grand Prix. He beat on his last flying lap and second run on those tyres, I think, Charles Leclerc damn him, by a tenth of a second into second place. What an effort, though, from Leclerc, and what an improvement from Ferrari this weekend. Oscar Piastri in third place, 6.5 hundredths off Leclerc in second, with Lewis Hamilton in fourth place in the second Ferrari, 2.5 tenths further back. Max Verstappen only fifth, despite threatening for pole position, or looking like he might threaten for pole position throughout practice this morning. Only fifth and nearly 3 tenths off the car ahead, and 7 tenths off pole. Hadjar only 2.5 tenths, as has been pointed out in live chat, behind Max Verstappen there in sixth place. Great effort from him, and top rookie as well. Fernando Alonso, a thousandth of a second behind Hadjar, so great stuff there for Fernando in seventh place. He's second rookie in the field there. Esteban Ocon in eighth, a great effort from Haas as well to get him up there. Only 100th, 200th behind Alonso himself, so very close there with him. Liam Lawson ninth, he's looked pretty good all weekend actually, so he'll be relatively happy with that, I'm sure. A couple of tenths off Ocon, with Alex Albon 800ths further back in 10th place. He will, as it stands, be just ahead of Carlos Sainz in 11th, with Yuki Tsunoda only 12th for Red Bull, and Nico Hulkenberg, I think, I know, helped by the next two behind, which we'll get into in a second, but I think that's a really good effort from Hulkenberg in that Sauber there, 13th. George Russell, he stopped early on in Q2 in the tunnel with a mechanical problem, lost power. His session was over. He's 14th. Kimi Antonelli, he crashed at the Nouvelle Chicane right at the end of Q1, just as the checker flag came out. He's 15th, damaged his his left corner, sorry. He was out of that session, full stop from that point. Gabriel Bortoleto, 16th. Ollie Bearman, 17th. Pierre Gasly, 18th. Lance Stroll 19th, and Franco Colapinto in 20th. A couple of reminders though: Ollie Bearman will get a 10-place grid drop for tomorrow's race, which takes him from 17th to 20th. And Lance Stroll has got a 1-place grid drop, which will drop him to 20th. Will then promote him to 19th. But then I think, because this impending and highly likely 3-place grid drop for impeding Gasly, that'll drop him back to 20th, because that penalty comes after Bearman's. I'm not sure how they do that now, but it'll be 19th or 20th for Stroll, and 19th or 20th for Bearman. I assume Bearman will be 20th, but I don't know how they want to apply those penalties. But yeah, weird. Also, Lewis Hamilton is under investigation, will be investigated after the session for possible impeding of Max Verstappen up at Massenet earlier in the session. So he may face a 3-place grid drop, which will put him down to 7th. Will promote Verstappen to 4th, Hadjar to 5th, and Alonso to 6th. But we have to wait and see on that one. That's one of those, a miscommunication by Ferrari more than anything. Hamilton was told on the run up the hill Verstappen was 3 seconds behind. He was then told Verstappen was slowing, so Hamilton backed off because Verstappen was coming. His engineer then said that Verstappen was slowing down, so Hamilton then picked up the pace again, only for Verstappen to go flying around the outside of Massenet and compromising his lap. So I assume there'll be some sort of penalty there for Hamilton, probably a 3-place grid drop. I can't see that because it was his engineer miscommunicating things that they're going to let him off that one, because it's a team sport and all of that. So we'll see. That we've been surprised by the stewards before, so we'll see what happens. But yes, Lando Norris with the advantage for tomorrow. Charles Leclerc, though, he will win for the second year in a row at Monaco, because I'm wearing this t-shirt. It's really comfortable, but man, is it hot. So he better win. Looking at him on the TV. Think about your fans, man. Yes, have you got any questions in chat then? Let's look ahead to tomorrow, what we're looking forward to. Anything you missed from the session you want me to go over again, and then we'll wrap things up. If you are disappearing, by the way, thank you so much for tuning in today. Best numbers on a quali watch-along or any watch-along for a couple of races now, so appreciate the support this afternoon. Please do drop a like before you go, and subscribe if you are new to. Lots to come this season and indeed this weekend. But yes, please do get your chats in the questions. Or your questions in the chat, whichever way you want to do it. The chat is confilled with people saying chat now, isn't it? Snack strategy for tomorrow's decided canvas. I can't eat on stream because, one, I don't really eat during the day. True story. You wouldn't believe it, but I don't really eat during the day. And also, I don't think you need me chomping on Haribo or something like that. But I think a two-stop snack strategy, I think it's a good move, to be honest. Sighted canvas, at least. So you'll need a couple of things there. So, and something with some sugar in, probably needed. Yeah. Realistically, says CPB1, my prediction is McLaren 1-2 with a Leclerc podium. My wild prediction is Alonso win. Ooh, and an RB double podium. Oh, go on then. I'll take that one. Sighted Canvas going with a 3-snack strategy. There you go. So really going to push it out tomorrow. Ferrari doing his strategy there. Who's your pick for the surprise race, says Michael? Is it a bit chaotic, let's say? One thing to look out for tomorrow, which we'll get into more tomorrow, actually, to be fair, but one thing to look out for tomorrow is early safety cars, because a Colapinto in 20th comes in at the end of the first lap and changes tyres, does some good laps, gets himself within the pit window of a few cars ahead, and then a safety car comes out. He might be looking pretty good, but we'll see how we go. But yeah, it's gonna be weird tomorrow. But yeah, I'm not expecting too much chaos. But in terms of a bold pick, let's say chaotic race, I like the idea of an Alonso win and a double RB podium. But if we get a chaotic race, Verstappen win. Piastri second, and let's put Hadjar up there in third, or Alonso in third. Something like that would be quite cool. But realistically, I think tomorrow we're looking at if we base it on last year, what you see there in the top 10 is what we get. That is your result tomorrow as well. So let's see what the mandatory 2-stop does tomorrow. But yeah, if it's based on last year, that's your result as well. So let's see. I'm making pancakes with strawberries and cream, says Annette. Sounds delicious. Very nice. I'd ask you to send some, but I think the cream might be on the turn by the time it arrives. Lando broke the record. Is that the fastest lap record? It will be. Yeah, it was a 1... right, if anything flashes up on over the track map in a minute, I apologise. It's not dodgy. It might just be a preview graphic. But the previous best ever lap around Monaco, where are my track stats? There we go. It hasn't. That's fine. Was a 1:10.166. So actually, wow. Norris, Leclerc and Piastri all beat that record. Previous best ever laps, so not just race lap, not just quali, best ever was a 1:10.166. Norris a 1:09.954. Leclerc a 1:10 flat and a 1:10.129 for Piastri. 3 times that got broken today. That's incredible. But Norris has the outright record now, of course. See what happens tomorrow for the track record. I can't open that one because that's a whole track map. So there you go. Bangers and mash for me, says Craig. Sounds delicious. Proper classic. Graham says, what happened to Mercedes? So right at the end of Q1, it was after the checkered flag had come out, Antonelli went to turn into the Nouvelle chicane at turn 10 down here. And as he's coming on the inside, he sort of hit the barrier on the inside with his left front and possibly his left rear as well. And that broke that. And then he sort of went straight on over the curb and then into the wall on the exit at turn 11. And that took off the left front corner, if you like, of the car as well. So that was game over for him. And then George Russell, all the way up at Massenet. So at turn 3, I'm trying to point on the track map. There we go. Lost power around here and then just basically cruised the car all the way around and pulled over here in the tunnel around turn 9. So that was it for him. So mechanical failure there for him. So that's why Mercedes were 5th, 14th and 15th come the end of the session, unfortunately. But yeah, they're going to need chaos from there, aren't they, tomorrow to recover. Nick's having spag bowl. Fajitas for me tonight, says CPB. Ooh, CPB, that sounds good. I do like, yes, I go with that. Definitely. No worries, Graham. No problem at all. It's the first ever lap time under 70 seconds at Monaco, says Fudd. There we go. Confirming the thing there. Don't forget awful TV direction, but they switched that out. That's true. Yeah, when it used to be, Monaco used to have a special agreement. They get lots of special treatment. They got a special agreement if you're new to F1, where they used to handle the broadcast. So the live feed, the world feed that we get that's now handled by FOM, used to be done by Monaco in-house, if you like. So they had control of it, and it was diabolical. Can you remember? It's the famous one. It's almost the famous one now, where we had... was it Vettel and Gasly side by side out of the pits up towards Massenet and Casino Square? We rarely see any side by side action in Monaco, and it looked like it was going to get so spicy, and they cut to a replay of Lance Stroll at the chicane, didn't they? It was like, oh, you, and we ruined all that good stuff. Yeah. So that was good. But yeah, the world feed had their moments as well, to be fair, don't they, Nick? So yeah, but that was so bad. We've had a few like that over the years, but yeah, at least we don't have adverts. He says they get to adverts during the race like we used to, so you don't miss the last few laps of of Alonso versus Schumacher at Imola. It's still the best reaction given the Discord I'm in, says Fudd. Yeah. It's great to see Hamilton and Leclerc in the top 5. Do you know what, actually, Hawk? It's just nice to see Ferrari not totally screwed up. They may have screwed up Hamilton. We'll wait and see what happens there. But, yeah. Yeah. Lots of people talking about what they're having. Max having cottage pie. Any boxing fans on the chat watching the Josh Taylor, oh God, I'm not pronouncing that, fight tonight? Essuman fight. There you go. Yeah, I'm gonna come back to questions about the weekend really, rather than what we're having for dinner. I don't know what we're having yet. I'm tempted to go over the shop and get fajitas now that that's been mentioned. But anyway, I've been over the Mercedes stuff that went a bit wrong. We've talked about the record. Does the mandatory 2-stop count for wet races? Yes, it does, Nick the Greek. I gave you full name there. Why not? Yes, it does. So it's wet or dry. So even if you use, let's say it's wet enough, the very specific amount of water we need for the wet tyre to be anything other than useless, and you have to use that all race, you would still need to pit twice. So yeah. Which is why they've got 3 sets of wet tyres this weekend, in case that does end up happening. But as of right now, 60. It's a 4:30 in the UK, 5:30 in Monaco. Chance of rain tomorrow is nothing. So I don't think we're gonna get rain tomorrow. But of course, things can change. But yeah, no rain currently forecast for the race tomorrow, which is both good and a shame. Yeah. Safety car tomorrow, says Mike. At least one. I'd be very surprised if we don't get at least one. I will say as well, actually, the F2 race, if you saw it, there was a crash on the first lap down at... Is it still Portier? The bit where you come out of the hairpin, then you've got that right-hander, then it's Portier, that bit there were 2 cars, they collide, they're in the middle of the track, and they put the safety car out, and the F2 cars with the safety car to squeeze past it. I know it's low speed and the marshals there, but I do feel like that should have been a red flag, to be honest. That's almost blocking the track. So but yeah, there'll be safety cars tomorrow for sure. 2 pit stops just means a choice between a lap 1 pit stop and waiting for a yellow flag, or lap 35 pit stop and waiting for a yellow flag. Yeah, I'm not convinced it'll make any difference, but at the same time, they're trying something, so we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Oh, I tell you what, they're just showing Norris's pole lap. He clouted the curb on the exit of the swimming pool there. That could have been pretty disastrous for him, but no, it was a great lap in the end. Looks really pushing hard there. 109.954, new track record. Sean, what's your wildest prediction after this quali? I just gave that, actually, Jithyu. I think I said Verstappen. Doesn't sound that wild, but 5th to 1st in Monaco is quite wild. Piastri and Alonso or Hadjar for a podium is what I went with a bit of craziness there. But yeah. Do you think back running teams will stop in the first few laps, or that anyone will do 2 stops on consecutive laps, says Mark? The trouble with 2 stops, so I think yes. I again, sort of going back to what I was saying before, but a bit more slowly and calmly now that I'm calming down now. The excitement's going away for a bit. That's the best we'll see in Monaco now until next year, probably. But yeah, there you go. Colapinto, for example, if he pits at the end of the first lap, in theory, he can run them a long way, and then he can start to get in the mix with the field, and then he's only got 1 more stop to make when everyone else has 2 to make. So I think there is a chance we'll see a Colapinto or a Bearman or a Stroll, for example, make that decision. The problem with 2 consecutive stops is, even though the front are not going to be pushing as hard as we know they can go, you are not going to see a 109.9 tomorrow for fuel reasons and the fact they won't be pushing as well. But I think back-to-back stops are still going to be a huge gap to make up. What I'm concerned about tomorrow is that because he's 20th on the list right now, let's say Colapinto pits at the end of the first lap. As soon as he pits at the end of the first lap, assuming that order was to stay the same, which it won't, Stroll's then going to stop the next lap with Gasly, and they're all going to start pitting to avoid him potentially undercutting them. So it's not really going to change anything except we get a load of early stops. That's how it feels to me. And if we get any kind of safety car, any kind of red flag, it kind of null and voids it anyway. Full stop. So I don't know. I think, again, 3 compounds and 2 stops would have made more sense. But unless we drastically shrink these cars or knock some buildings down and widen the track, there's not a lot you can do around Monaco. So I suppose a mandatory 2 stop is about all you can try, but I'm just not convinced that 2 consecutive stops will work. But I would be amazed if somebody isn't in at the end of the first lap to change tyres. So, I mean, Colapinto, for example, again, using him because he's last on the list at the moment, could put the softs on for the first lap, pit, put a nice set of hards on to go as long as possible, then wait for a late yellow flag or safety car to then go to the mediums for late on. But it's an opportunity for those further down in the pack to make up some places through undercuts. But I think what's going to happen at the front is, as I said a few times the last few weeks, Norris, for example, now we know he's on pole, drives at a pace to manage that race, looks after his tyres. As soon as he gets to the pit window, he'll floor it. Or when his rivals start to pit behind him, he'll floor it because he's got the pace in the tyres. He'll still rejoin in the lead after his pit stop. Then he'll slow down again, and that's what will have happen twice. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just very sceptical. I just don't. I also don't think it was needed. I'm kind of with I think Ted Kravitz said the other day it was an overreaction. I think it's a knee-jerk reaction as well. Stefano Domenicali saying last year after the Monaco Grand Prix, we need to make sure that doesn't happen again. But that is the only time it's happened. You have to go back to, correct me if I'm wrong, but certainly in top end points, I think you have to go back to 97 or 97 when Mika Salo went all the way on a set of wet tyres from the start of the race to the end of the race without stopping before you're looking at the last time somebody went all the way in Monaco. Someone will tell me in chat now, somebody more recently that I can't remember. But, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, there was Mika as well. Mika Salo. Yeah, it was in a Tyrrell, wasn't he? Mika Salo. Yeah, Leclerc. His first lap was with traffic. It was a good lap, is what he's saying. I'm going to have to just 2 seconds. I've just got a little thing I need to sort out. I'll be back in 2 secs. There we go. I've turned the lights off. I know you said you prefer the lights on. It's just a bit hot. It's a bit hot with the t-shirt on and the lights. I'll just turn them off for now while we wrap the stream up. So apologies. But we are ending in a second anyway because I think people want to get on with their afternoon now. So any further questions? Yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow with the strategy. But yeah, great point from Nick, actually. The strategy team have got to react quickly tomorrow. They can't be faffing. The only thing, again, that I will say is with the mandatory 2 stop, what could end up happening is... if you've got 2 cars close together on track, like the 2 McLarens or the 2 Ferraris might be, double stacking is going to be a nightmare in that pit lane. So that's one thing to watch out for tomorrow as well. So, yeah. Could you see anyone starting on hards go along and do a couple of stops towards the end? Ask Pascal. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I guess they're going to be the 2 strategy options tomorrow, aren't they? Pit early and get one of them out of the way, or maybe pit with everyone else and then just hang fire and wait for a safety car or something for a second stop. I think everyone's going to do that. I don't know. Intrigued. I hope we're really wrong and we get something mental tomorrow strategy-wise, but I just think these guys are too clever. We prefer the t-shirt on and the lights off, says Annette. Yeah, they were your choices. They were your choices. I was getting hot, so it was lights on and t-shirt off, or t-shirt on and lights off. I think we've gone the right way here. 1:37 a.m. Sean, I'm out of here. Go get some tea, says Craig. I will do. I will do. I'll go get something to eat. Don't worry. I've read your message, Rob, but I've read it again in my head, and it's the same answer. I will go very, very shortly. Yeah. They need to leave Martin alone, boot the drivers and keep Martin. My vote, says Kevin. Not sure what that one's about. I might have missed something there. So what everyone really needs is a rainmaking machine, says Nick. Nick is obviously Bernie Eccleston's burner account there. There we go. That's that confirmed. Mertz can go hard on strategy tomorrow. Very true, says from Foot there. Sean, you're so cynical. I am. I'm very cynical on it. I can't help it. Hopefully it's better than I fear, but yeah. I think we will leave it there because you're making me hungry now with your conversations about food. But yeah, it's been a bit of a longer one today with the red flags and whatnot. But yeah, just to confirm, Lando Norris on pole, Charles Leclerc second, Oscar Piastri third, Lewis Hamilton fourth, and Max Verstappen in fifth place. I'm always cynical. But I'd rather, I mean, Red Raven says, I appreciate the honest cynicism. I'd rather sit here and tell you what I'm really thinking rather than doing what others might do and try and give you a false opinion just for keep people on side or clicks or whatever. So you'll always get the truth from me. You'll always get honesty from me where I can. But yeah, it doesn't always make it very popular, but that's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Yeah, so I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll go to the end screen now if it works for me. It worked. There we go. Yes, thank you for joining me this afternoon or morning or evening, wherever you are in the world. Hope you have a fantastic rest of the weekend and that you'll join me tomorrow. I'll be back 1:30 p.m. BST for the race watch. Along will be live to the end of the race and live for about 20 minutes, half an hour afterwards. Hopefully we get something to talk about. If not, we'll play some games on stream. There you go. I'll get marbles out. There you go. All sorted. No promises on that one. I probably shouldn't, but there you go. And of course, make sure you drop a like before you go as well. And subscribe as well if you're new. Lots of content coming up this season. And keep an eye on the Planet F1 socials as well, because Thomas is in Monaco this weekend, as you may have already seen. And he'll be doing a wrap-up from there as well. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean. This has been the F1 Word. And until next time, goodbye.